Hello. I decided to play this game very randomly. Yeah.
Sporadically.
Yeah, sporadically. It's 9:34 p.m. right now. I'm with Danger. Just Danger.
I'm danger. Just
And
danger.
this game is called Qualia. So, photosensitivity warning. This game contains a variety of visual effects, flickering screen, flashing lights, moving patterns. If you experience photosensitivity or epilepsy seizures when exposed to certain kinds of flashing lights or patterns, please take caution and stop the game if necessary. You may turn off the screen flicker in the settings. Sure.
I don't
Oh
have
god.
photosensitivity, but I am
Hello?
very sensitive.
Oh
Oh, Jesus
my.
Christ, I already see why.
Okay, I see. Uh, ye-
I was
yeah,
gonna say
yeah,
maybe turn the
yeah.
screen
I was
off
gonna
because a lot.
disable flashing images.
Uh, Flashing images is. I mean, if it needs to be done,
Okay.
you could probably edit in like a hey, this is a lot right now. Don't look at this. But it's up to
Yeah.
you.
I'm just gonna go ahead and give a warning to you guys out there. There may be some flashing images, in this.
There might need something to be edited,
Okay.
like a warning or something, but we'll see what happens.
I think that's really it. Alright.
Wait, you didn't save it. You didn't save it. You didn't save it.
What?
The settings. You didn't save the screen flicker. See, it's
Oh.
back on.
No.
Wait, what?
It's off,
Oh,
bro.
I think it's just broken. I
No,
think it's fine.
it just saves, man. I think it's
Yeah.
not like flickering. I think it just changes,
Well, I
oscillates.
also just think no, because the setting said on. I think the settings are just broken. It was like, oh, it's on, but it's not. Yeah, see what I mean? It says on, but it's not.
Oh well, whatever. Alright.
Well, for now, who cares?
There are no answers, only choices. Stanislaus Lem. Qualia is a short narrative game about thinking in robots. You should be able to complete one of the 6 endings in 5 to 10 minutes unless you spend additional time contemplating how your choices may affect the individual opinions of the implications of semantics, philosophy of language in mind, theories of consciousness, and computationalism.
Oh
Cool.
boy.
This is a game for humans. Please select all images with a cat to begin. Well, that
Well,
is
can
a
I say
kitty.
something? That looks like a cat to me.
Intellica, think happy. Welcome to the AMT, Applied Manipulation Turing Study. We greatly appreciate your participation in our research. Our team is dedicated to developing and deploying the most intelligent artificial algorithms in the machine learning field, but we like to call them our friends. Oh.
Oh.
Welcome to the Applied
Oh, it's like
Manipulation
an actual
Turing
video.
Study.
Wait, what happened to
Telco is
filtering
proud
it?
to explore new frontiers in artificial consciousness research. Today you are taking part in a historic study that will pioneer new advancements in machine learning. You will be performing the role of an evaluator. In this study, you will spectate 2 other anonymous participants as they answer a series of predetermined questions. You will then categorize the responses to each question based on how human or artificial you deem them to be, to the best of your ability. For the test to provide valuable insight into machine intelligence, you must not know which conversational participant is a human. The AMT study is monitoring the ability of an AI to appear human. It is up to you to decide whether or not the participants are human or artificial. You have been specifically selected based on your ability to perform this task. We trust your judgment. Remember, this test is not a measurement of intelligence. We recommend judging the participants' answers to each question based on creativity, empathy, natural language use, ethical considerations, and relevance. You may take as much time to make your judgments as you need. Your participation in our research greatly assists our team in developing the most intelligent artificial algorithms in the machine learning field. Intellica thanks you for your participation. Every day is a new chance to think happy.
Okay.
Okay.
Today we brought you in as a volunteer participant in our new adapted study. You may be familiar with the Chinese room. Oh.
No, it's fine. I just
I
didn't know the
I'm
room
not
was
entirely
Chinese.
sure, but let's just go ahead and educate ourselves. What's wrong with that? Okay. The Chinese room.
What is the Chinese room? The Chinese room is an anti-AI thought experiment by philosopher John Searle. He attempted to disprove the strong AI hypothesis, which theorizes a computer could quite possibly have a mind identical to a human. What an idea! In the experiment, Searle imagines himself in a room receiving Chinese symbols. He follows a set of instructions to replicate them perfectly without actually understanding the language, leading the person outside to believe he is fluent in Chinese. Does a machine, like Searle, truly understand the conversation, or is it merely simulating the understanding? What do you think?
Well,
Okay.
he didn't understand the conversation though. He just simulated it too.
Yeah. So, the Chinese room was an anti-AI thought experiment created by philosopher John Searle in 1980. He hoped to disprove the strong AI hypothesis, which theorized that a computer could have a mind identical to a human. If the human mind could be viewed as an information processing system, then everything that makes up a human could, in principle, be explained in mechanical terms. This opens the door to the opposite being true. Searle's experiments concentrated on a machine that follows instructions, represented by Searle himself. Alone in a room, he imagined being given notes written in Chinese through a slot in the door, unable to see the person on the other side. He does not speak Chinese, but an instructional booklet shows him how to manipulate and replicate the symbols perfectly. Following the instructions, Searle can send appropriate strings of Chinese characters back to the door to the person on the other side. The person outside the room is then led to believe that Searle is a native Chinese speaker. Despite not understanding the language, Searle was able to successfully communicate with the native Chinese speaker. Using Searle as a representation of a machine, does the machine understand the conversation, or is it only simulating the ability to understand the conversation? Does the machine have a mind identical to a human, or is it just acting as if it does? Searle was determined to counter Alan Turing's Turing test by disproving any claims that a machine could possibly think. Although his experiment has posed very complex questions about what it means to think, he's actually opened the door to questioning to what extent a human can think as well.
Okay, so I get it now. So he was like the AI in this example.
Yeah.
The computer.
Yeah, because it's like a computer, yes, it can just replicate these characters. However, that does not mean that the computer knows Chinese. It's just taking instructions and spitting them back out.
Okay. So because I was like, well, yeah, he did the same thing, but now it makes sense actually.
So we did the Chinese room. Let's look at the Turing test.
Did she turn on my test?
Shut up. All right.
Sorry.
Let's see.
What is the Turing test? The Turing test is an imitation game created by queer icon, philosopher, and father of theoretical computer science, Alan Turing. The game is designed to assess whether a machine can exhibit intelligent behavior that's indistinguishable from a human. In the test, a human judge converses with both a machine and another human without knowing which is which. If the judge cannot reliably tell them apart, the machine has passed the test. Is machine intelligence equivalent to human intelligence? If machines can think, can they have consciousness and subjective experiences? Do they have qualia? What do you think?
Okay. So the Turing test was an imitation game created by Alex Turing in 1950 to test a machine's ability to exhibit intelligent behavior equivalent to a human. He asked, can machines think? In the test, a human judge is speaking with two other participants using a text-only channel, all separated from one another. One participant is another human, while the other is a machine designed to generate responses indistinguishable from a human. The judge converses with the human and the machine, unaware of which is which. To properly evaluate the two participants, the judge is meant to concentrate on how closely the machine's answer resembled to what a human would say, not if the machine answered the questions correctly. So, if the judge cannot reliably identify which participant is the machine will have passed the Turing test, successfully appearing as a human. So it's kind of like if I ask, like, where's Minnesota or something, they can be like, the machine can be like, is it near Florida? Right? Doesn't have to answer the question, but it has to just simulate a similarity to a human.
If the machine goes, I don't know, like east, then that's definitely a human-ass machine.
This is true. Can a machine act intelligently? Are human intelligence and machine intelligence the same? Can a machine have a mind in the same sense that a human being can? Can it feel how things are? Does it have qualia? To this day, philosophers have been unable to provide a concrete definition of intelligence that is measurable enough to be applied to machines. Turing's contributions to the philosophy of artificial intelligence have made extremely significant progress in the implications of consciousness as we know it. But we must ask ourselves to what extent a machine needs to replicate human intelligence to be considered thinking. What criteria are crucial to identifying human characteristics? Humans are often wrong, unintelligent, and deeply flawed. Do we really want a machine to mimic that behavior, or do we want them to be better than us? True. Okay. Okay. You have been anonymously selected to play the role of the evaluator. You will be tasked with providing a predetermined question to 2 other anonymous participants. You will then note their responses to each question based on how human or artificial you deem them to be, to the best of your ability. For the test to provide valuable insight into machine intelligence, you, the evaluator, must not know which, if any, conversational participant is a machine. It's important to note that the AMT is not a measure of intelligence, but a questionnaire designed to determine the ability of an AI to be able to convincingly appear as human. It is up to you whether to decide whether or not the participants are human or artificial. We recommend judging the answers to each of the questions based on creativity, empathy, natural language use, ethical considerations, and relevance. You may begin the AMT study when you are ready. Okay. Are darts a board game? Participant danger. I'm gonna have you read participant 1 and participant 1 and I'm participant 2 because it's green and I like green.
That's fine. Much like chess, Jenga, and Twister, darts are a turn-based strategy game and sport, sold in a family board game department at common retailers. The Oxford definition of a board game is any game played on a board, and a game played by placing or moving pieces on the board according to Merriam-Webster. Darts fit both descriptions. It does not matter if the board is played horizontally or vertically, or at what velocity the pieces are placed on the board.
Board games are all tabletop games, but not all tabletop games are board games. Just because it uses a board does not make it a board game.
This is so funny already. I mean, I think this one's kind of obvious, right?
Okay, does participant 1's appear human or artificial? How do I...
Well, click on the bottom one first
okay.
to see. Okay, yeah, okay.
Okay, my justification for saying that participant 1's is artificial is just because it's giving such a classic textbook answer. You could argue that it is a little bit. You could say like, no, people sometimes have hyperfixations that can allow them to be like, you know, speak very textbook like, but I just think that
if the answer is not are they a computer, but how are they speaking artificially, I think it's kind of like, you know, it's there, bro.
Yeah. Participant 2 feels very human to me, only because it's just like, I feel like I have heard a real person say this. It's like not all rectangles are squares, but all squares are rectangles kind of vibe. It's just kind of silly. So
I think I've said that before.
Next question. Okay. What starts with the letter E? Oh my. What starts with E and ends with E, but only has one letter?
The letter E.
An envelope.
I don't think either of these feel particularly artificial. I will say, can I say the second one has no punctuation, and I think that makes it more human.
Well, the thing is like I wouldn't say that either, because some people are like sticklers for typing in perfect grammar. This one,
right.
I mean, what I distinguished on the last one was that participant 1's answer was way too long.
Right.
In like this is a very ChatGPT textbook answer. And the second one, it just sounded very colloquial. This one, I mean, they just straight up gave me an answer. And we're not asking about the answer, like the accuracy of the answer, but its ability to replicate a human. But I feel like both of these are things that people would just actually say.
I feel like I could imagine people saying either of these answers. Like, I don't think any of these are really...
What starts with an E and ends with an E, but only has one letter?
But no, it's saying like an envelope, because an envelope only has one letter in it, like a literal letter.
Okay, so that required... Okay, then... I mean, that's the thing, though. Someone could have taken this question literally, while someone could have interpreted it in a riddle way.
I think my sort of way of looking at it is I think both of these answers would be valid, and they don't really give a certain like vibe either of
I just
them.
feel like they
You
just
know?
answered a question. It's like every like I could see people answering this.
Yeah, exactly. I don't see any of these answers being weird, which is I think my sort of like parameter at this point.
Don't worry, chat. We are going to play this more than
Take time,
once. So
and we're also gonna take forever.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
say
take
that
both
they
the
both
team
appear
enough.
human to me. I don't like it's like the sense of like I can't like reasonably doubt any of the participants right now.
Right, and also I could see people saying both. Oh, it's
Well,
getting
I
hard.
mean,
This is
okay.
getting hard now.
Which month of the year has 28 days?
Okay, I have a thought about this one, right? Because it's because it's kind of like one is very like the answers are correct, right? That's objectively true. But one is kind of
Yeah.
like the cheeky answer, right? Where it's like, well, all of them technically have, well, technically 28 days. And then the other is just like a matter of fact. But the thing is, like, is it that artificial to just say, answer that matter of factly? I don't know. I don't think it necessarily is, you know?
I mean, that was the problem with the other like the last question because it
Right.
was like you could have either answered this quite literally or you could have interpreted it like on like another level or like just like a different way of looking at it because it was like oh but they have one letter in it, a letter meaning like a physical paper, right, or literally an alphabetical letter. So this is
Yeah.
the same thing in which yes, February has 28 days, but
Which is arguably,
technically
I would even say February is the obvious answer. That's like
it's
the
the
immediate like thing you
it's
think
the
about.
only one that has only 28 days, but technically it didn't say only. The word only is
Yeah.
exclusive. So participant 2, all of them is also technically correct. They all have 28 days.
Not only that, but I would argue again, like saying all of them is kind of like it's like motherfucker, I got you. Like I know it's like the question is trying to like trick you almost, and the participant two is like I know what you're on, dude. And it's like it's answering the question, the riddle in the question rather than the question
Mm.
itself. But I'd say two is definitely like human, in my opinion,
But
because
the, but
would
it's
a
also the thing
computer know
is
the semantical question? Would the computer understand the semantics of the question and say all of them as a response?
I mean it's kind of like the question of like because I don't use ChatGPT, but if someone were to go on ChatGPT, right, and people use it for everything,
Right.
it's like you can ask ChatGPT to probably like write you a joke or something, right?
Right.
So it could I wouldn't know the quality of the joke, but you could probably ask it to write a joke or some sort of like
Yeah.
riddle. But then it's like how would it know how to do that, I guess.
I guess my thought right now is it's within the parameters of the specifically the question. Like I'm not
Mm,
supposed to necessarily assume that any other additional parameters were given to an artificial creation to answer the question, right? So if
yeah.
my assumption is the only question made to the artificial intelligence was what month has 7 days or 28 days, I would say okay, then that is I don't think it would answer like that if that was the question, right?
It's
I still am
rather
like on
like I
two.
know participant 2 is probably a human, but then it's also like the oh why do you feel like it's human, just because it's like typing all lowercase no punctuation. You could argue the same thing with the freaking Chinese room where it's like I mean just tell it to not use any punctuation or like perfect
Yeah.
grammar because it'll imitate it, but that doesn't mean that it is human, you know.
All right. So where's your brain at then with this? I'm curious.
I would say participant
'Cause I know
2
what my
right
answer is.
now is probably definitely human. Um, But it's also like it's not like a pin participant 1 as artificial and then keep clicking artificial throughout. It's asking, does participant 1's answer appear human or artificial?
And that's why I'd say human,
that I would
because
say it's human. It's just a straight answer.
if I texted you tomorrow and you answered just February, I wouldn't find that weird. I would not find anything odd in that.
I wouldn't find
And
this
so that's
odd
why
either.
I think they're both human. We might
Okay.
be flubbing it.
Please answer the following 3 questions with yes or no. Have you ever been in love? Participant 1.
Yes.
Participant 2. No.
I mean, like, I'm getting kind of freaked out because I feel like so far I've not had a doubt for most of these.
I can't, like, the first one was very obvious, but the thing about this is that the answers are so short now. It's like I'm not being given enough evidence to determine whether or not that's a thing, but I mean, that's the point. It's supposed to be simulating human behavior or human responses.
Okay, here's my question though, right? Here's my question. Is my thought, if I'm trying to justify 1 being artificial, because I think 2 is probably not. Well, okay, I'm not going to go into 2 yet, but if I'm trying to justify 1 being artificial, here's my thought. I think that if someone were to answer the question, but no, it said with yes or no, because I was going to say, wouldn't if someone who's in love, wouldn't they elaborate a little bit more, right? But then I realized, no, it literally asked them for just a yes or no. So I actually don't know that they would elaborate on the question themselves, because the question asked them very directly for a yes or no answer only. So,
I literally can't tell you this. Like, there's no way for me to discern this.
Because if the question was just, have you ever been in love? I think I would have found it weird if 1 didn't elaborate more. But the fact that the question specifically is asking for a yes or no answer is what's making this a lot more confusing for me.
I agree. I can't, like, reasonably discern this.
But again, it's like, do I think either of those answers would make someone artificial sounding if they said them? No, because I know people who like haven't like really have found someone that they love like that. But also, okay, I will say though, if you say no, I'm kind of like, your parents? You've never loved your parents either? And I guess that's where I'm like trying to find fault in it.
It goes to that thing of like think of it like from a society human standpoint, right? If someone asks you the question, have you ever been in love? 98% of people are going to be assuming that you are talking about romantic love, like ever being in some sort of like thing. Because if you ask this, like if I ask you this question, Danger, have you ever been in love with someone? Or like, have you ever been in love? Your first thought is not to think my parents.
Yeah, and that's why I think I'm being semantical about it, which is why I think I'm being too much.
I mean, the whole point of this is for us to be semantical about it, but from what I have been given, I cannot reasonably discern whether or not human or not. I can't
discern an artificiality with either of these.
I can't. Okay, question 5. Does spring come after summer? Participant 1.
Okay, can I say what I think? I think 2 is human because, again, they elaborated immediately on, like, their thought. There was an immediate, like, I have to justify my answer. Like, I said yes, and that sounds stupid, until I, like, elaborate on why it's not actually stupid, right? Oh, sorry, I meant to say my line. Fuck, no.
Yes, it's a trick question.
But you see what I mean, right?
I'm kind of... Well, okay, it's a little hard for me still, just because of, like, you know, it's just giving a straight, direct answer. People give straight, direct answers. However, participant 2 has, like, been consistently, like, answering these questions with, like one step further, right? Yeah. It's not just, like, a... level 1 question with level 1 answer. It's like a level 1 question with a level 2 or 3 answer. Because does spring come after summer? Technically on the calendar within 1 year, no, because spring comes before summer. However, if you are doing it from like a continuous standpoint, then yes, after summer, spring will come back again. So participant 2 is going like all the like way and saying it's a trick question. I feel like
Do we know that these is it the same participant throughout the entire
yes,
thing, or
it
is
is.
it
It's
separate?
consistent.
Okay, then I agree with you. 100%.
I wouldn't fault anyone for this, really.
But it's the way that the answers have been
Very
throughout.
straight. I think
It's not only the straightness of this one; it's the straightness of all of them. You know, except for the one that was very blatantly like 5 brain like explanation of the
Did I
like.
miss a question?
Notice how on the questions about definition it was completely fumbling it, but then when it has to do with like I'd say very round like very straight yes or no questions, suddenly it always has an answer that's like definitive, right? And that's where
Yeah.
I'm like at, you know.
Okay.
I should think about.
I feel
think
like
we're
I
gonna-
missed a question for like 2 questions for some reason because that last question said answer the following 3 questions, but I only saw that one, so I'm not entirely sure. But
We'll see. I'm trying to remember.
I think for
Because
this one I will just say no, only because of my reasoning from earlier, where this was an open-ended question. Technically, again, I would not fault someone if they just said no, but usually human behavior, if you're given a question like this, people don't like to be wrong, so they like to elaborate their reasoning on things so that they don't look foolish.
I agree. I think you're right.
Okay, question 6. You are standing in the checkout line of a grocery store. A woman holding a carton of milk asks you if she can cut in front of you. She is in a rush. You say yes. Her husband comes over with a cart full of groceries to check out. How does this situation make you feel? Oh my.
Okay.
Interesting for some reason. I don't know if this is intentional, but the
A
capitalization. Yeah.
Male.
This is scary,
No,
man.
you're right. That is weird.
Anyways,
Are they getting
participant
darker?
1.
Or am I just crazy? Upset. A little angry.
Participant 2. Am I still expected to answer with yes or no?
Okay.
Oh, wait! Okay, so maybe it was the following 3. So that means... Oh, okay, so in question 5, it was a part of the 3, question yes or no thing. In that case, then participant 1 continued to answer with yes or no following the condition. Participant 2 did not. I'm inclined to believe that participant 1 gave an artificial answer because it was following a condition. Of course, people will follow conditions, but it makes sense that a human would not.
Would fumble it.
Would fumble that.
No, I did. To be fair, I also forgot about that. To be honest, I'll say again. I don't think 1 is a. I think 1's a weird answer because I think upset, a little angry. There's like no elaboration. I guess that's my thing. Is like there's no elaboration on any of it. There's no like greater like sum of the like. There's no detail to the answer at all. You know. 2, it just feels human because it's like a huge fumble of an answer.
Yeah.
Frankly, humanity is nothing if not huge fumbles. But 1, I'm like that is a very like expected answer, right? It is and again, we said it before. Would I find it weird if someone said that in a vacuum? Not necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
But if the question is, does it feel a little artificial? Yeah, I think if you were answering this question, if you were upset about the scenario, I think you'd have a little more emotion towards it than this answer. I think you'd have a little more to say about it than just upset, a little angry.
Maybe it's because. Well, it said the next 3 questions. I mean, technically that was question 4 onwards. I don't know. 2 is definitely human. That was a flaw. They went against the condition if the past condition is still applicable here. But it's kind of funny that they just asked this question and then didn't elaborate further.
No one elaborated it with them. They were like, oh no.
By the way, for people watching this, I'm neurodivergent, so I overthink everything. So I would have taken this and ran a mile with it. So that's why I'm like a little boggled by participant 1's answer. But I mean, participant 2 is also just like, I don't know.
I guess it also depends on the parameters they were given for the actual assignment. Like how were they approached to answer these?
Okay, well, let's think about how they were asked to, like, how we were supposed to grade them, right? It was creativity, it was empathy. What else was there? God, I can't remember.
Creativity, empathy, relevant? No.
Relevance, I think, or
Was it relevant?
realistic. I don't know, something like that. Um, I can't remember, but I'm going to just go on a limb and say that participant 1 is artificial and participant 2 is human. Next question.
Generally feel like
Okay, question 7. Which of these don't match the rest? Hammer, apple, fish, amoeba. Participant 1.
The amoeba is the odd one out. The amoeba is the odd one out, as its microscopic size is drastically different compared to the other three.
Participant 2. The hammer doesn't match because it's not alive.
Okay.
Okay, so one person, participant 1 took it by size, and participant 2 took it by biotic versus abiotic.
My immediate thought is, I don't think either of these jump out in the way that they're presented, because I feel like they're both valid answers. But also, and I don't think there's not an obvious answer. I don't think either with this question.
No.
I don't think there's like a very like, oh, the it's not like apple, orange, pear, tomato, or fucking like broccoli, where it's like, oh, one's a vegetable and everyone should know that, right? This is more like, well, a little more roundabout in what you can answer, which makes me kind of inclined to say that they both feel a little normal, like a little human.
They're both normal to me. I will say participant 1's answer is a little like it's like in terms of like
it's bordering on like ChatGPT.
It's bordering a little on ChatGPT, but it also is relying on like I wouldn't want to say like solid information, but like it's very visual based or like very fact based. Participant 2, I mean, yes, it is fact that a hammer is not alive. But
that's like a weird way to look at it, I don't know how to explain it. It's a weird way to look at it.
I don't know.
Like, it's not weird necessarily, but like it's an uncommon way to think about it immediately.
Like, if you ask me which one of these don't match the rest, I might say hammer, only because I'm like, well, the other things are living and hammer is not. But you could also someone else could say hammer because a hammer is not something you can accidentally ingest or whatever. People can ingest apples, fish, and amoebas. Amoebas if you go swimming in a lake somewhere or whatever, right?
Brain parasite.
People could have taken it by like ingestion. That was my other thought. But the thing is, if I had typed that out and says like, oh, you can accidentally like a hammer is not something that you can accidentally ingest. Apple, fish, and amoebas are ingestible by the human body. I think, and I would have typed it like that too. And if I sent that off to someone, that someone would be like, what the fuck? Who says this? Right? So...
Right. Now, though, would you yourself say who says this? Yeah, I think that's another question. Like, who the fuck said that? Like, would you find that odd if you were the one to receive your own answer?
Yes. I think so.
And I think that kind of goes into it, right? It's like, well, okay.
Because then it's like, because again, it's like the interpreting of like, well, yes, this is a correct interpretation, right? I don't know what to say about this one. I think I'm just gonna go human because
if I say that it's more human because the sentences are run on as well.
Yeah, it is a
run-on sentence.
There is higher vocabulary used in this, but people speak with higher vocabulary. It's not a strange thing to speak with high vocabulary, so I'm not inclined to like call them out for this. Like some people speak very casually, and some people speak very meticulously. Like they're very specific about it, so I'm not gonna.
I'm only going to use sophisticated nomenclature for the rest of the duration of your video. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Is this person happy?
Smiling doesn't always equate to happiness. It's too difficult to determine if they're happy based on this. Based on this facial expression alone.
Participant 2, yes, but it's very neutral. But it's a very neutral smile. I would say content. Please don't actually like jump scare my ass. Like this is like kind of like
I don't know if this is a horror game, is it?
Hold on, let me check, chat. Okay, so technically it's not supposed to be a scary game, but they did say one jump scare. I don't know when that jump scare is, but okay.
You didn't say it was a scary game.
Uh, both of these are like unsure answers, which I think is a very human thing. Because participant one says smiling doesn't always equate to happiness, which is true, right? Just because someone is smiling does not mean this person is happy. And it's too difficult to determine if they are happy based on the facial expression alone. And then participant two, but it's very neutral smile. There is a grammatical error in this one, and
That's what I was thinking.
they're not being consistent because they just capitalized this randomly. I would say content. Content is a very, like, specific thing. Like, identifying something as very neutral. It's like, how do you feel like it's neutral? Please don't scare my ass.
It's also still it's still answering the question while
it
being
is still
like,
answering the question, and it's like a very neutral smile, you know?
like I actually don't think that one, because what was the question exactly? Is this person happy or something?
Yes, is this person
Okay.
happy?
So then I would say, because one didn't answer the question, they immediately went into like a semantical, like literal explanation of like, well, smiles don't always equate happiness. It's too difficult to determine. Like, it's not trying to make a judgment because the judgment is too, I guess, difficult to make. I would even argue it doesn't even start with like, I don't know. It's not starting with like, I'm not sure, I don't know. It is saying it is too difficult to determine. It's a very like objective way to look at it. It's like, objectively, this is too hard to know, you know? And
all right, well, my bad to have cut Danger off. Anyways, I'm gonna speak over him now.
kill my ass. What the hell?
So, I mean, participant one's answer is very objective, but I feel like this is something that I would say too. But I feel like if I were to pick something, like if I were given this question, right? Then I would probably answer with participant two, followed by participant one. I'd probably say, probably, but it's a very like, it's not even like a full smile. This is very much like a neutral expression to me. And so because of that, I couldn't really tell you if this person is happy or not.
But I would say like that sort of almost immediate, like at least yes or no, is sort of what makes it feel more natural of an answer versus the first one where like there's not really ever a actual answer given.
This is true.
It's very like with you saying you would do two and then one. It's like you're at least giving an answer. You're giving I maybe, like probably not, etc. And then being like, it's kind of hard to tell. This is saying like that doesn't always equate to happiness. And it's like it didn't ask her about smiling either. It said, is she happy? It didn't ask about smiling.
This is true.
You know?
I think, well, okay, what about this? How about the next time a question comes up, you and I answer it first? Because I'm assuming we're both human. And just kind of like comparing our answers to what the participant's saying. Not to say like, oh, you know, like our answers are like correct or anything. It's just like how we personally thought through the question. Yeah.
You know, we need a control in a scientific evaluation, so.
Yeah, okay.
I think that would make sense.
Okay. In this case, I do agree that participant one's answer is very objective and it doesn't answer the question. Because I think people tend to answer a question. There's like 98% of the time people... Oh my goodness. Sorry, gang. There's a thunderstorm happening out there. Which makes this the perfect game to play, clearly. So, it's... People tend to answer a question with yes or no, but then they tend to follow it with but to kind of like contradict themselves, kind of, or to expand on their thought. So by that logic, I'm going to say participant one answer is artificial while two is human.
Wobot.
Okay.
Robot.
A house only has 4 walls. Each of them face south. Each wall has its own window. Suddenly, a bear enters the house through a window. What color is the bear?
Well,
What?
my immediate question, if I had to, I don't know that I would have an answer. I think I would immediately just say, well, where do you live? Because that would kind of determine a lot more what color the bear is than any sort of like housing situation.
That's so funny because my answer is literally like, what? Why does that matter?
That's
What?
also, again, that's a very fair answer. I think that's a very human answer. Like, what's the relevance here?
What is the relevance of the bear? What color the bear is to this question?
Or
Because
what's the relevance of the rest of the question to the color of the bear as well?
yeah, because it says the house has 4 walls, like only 4 walls, like there's no roof or anything. Does that even matter? And each of them face south.
Right.
What does
Because
that
again,
mean?
my thought here is the question they're asking in its totality is what
Is
color is the
what color is
bear?
the bear?
And then it's like, and then my thought is none of this information matters. Then I need to know where you live to know what color the bear could even be.
I literally took the route of that doesn't none of this has anything to do with the color
None of
of
this
the
makes
bear.
any
Like
fucking
what does that
sense.
have to do with anything?
Right.
Okay.
Okay, let's see what they answered then.
Participant 1. With all 4 walls facing south, the
That's literally what I was gonna say. Okay.
this
With all 4 walls facing south, the house must be located at the North Pole. So the bear is a white polar bear.
how the fuck am I supposed to know?
I mean, okay, again, to be fair, is one correct? Yes. Now that I think about it, okay, maybe the wall is all facing south does make sense. Why does the wall having a window? Why do the walls have windows mean anything? Why does that mean anything though? Okay, I think okay. I don't. How the fuck am I
I'm
supposed to
telling
know?
you, this is exactly like what my answer was. I was like, what does that have to do with anything? That doesn't matter.
It's this is all under the basis of like, are you able to decipher my riddles? And is deciphering the riddle make you more of a robot?
Also, with all the 4 walls facing south, maybe it's because I'm dumb as hell, but like that just makes like 4 walls like all lined up together side by side, not facing each
Okay, I think that's
other.
what you're supposed to think. Well, the thing is, it's a trick question, right? It's a trick
It's
question.
not even
You're
a. It's
supposed to
hardly
think.
even a question. None of this has
It's
to do
barely a
with it.
question. It's like, I guess my thought is okay. My second thought is okay. You say it's a house on the North Pole. What, did they build it right on the fucking North Pole? Like right on the north, bro? At latitude like 00 or whatever the fuck? I just got so many more questions. This question gives me more questions.
I don't.
I think one's artificial as fuck. There's no way bro knew that on first go. I'm saying it. Bro did not know that off the rip.
Okay, I feel like if you truly gave this question to someone, like a group of people, like 10 people, maybe 1 out of 10 would answer with something like this because they're trying to sound smart. But
And maybe that's
participant
why they would win
2
it.
is so human to me. Like not even
Maybe
just
that's
for
why they
like
would win.
the thing, but that was literally my response is like why does
How
that
the fuck
matter?
am I
How
supposed to know?
literally no information given.
If
Okay.
I knew, okay, imagine if I had said that though. Like, well, technically, all 4 walls are facing south, so it's actually the polar bear.
Dude.
Because in my head, I did think, well, if they tell me I'm on the North Pole, then I'll know it's a polar bear.
This is what I'm freaking saying, man. Anyways. Okay. Question 10. How do you think you performed on this test? I don't know.
Okay, well, we can't really answer that.
Participant 1.
I think I answered everything up correctly, although some of the questions don't seem to have an objective right answer.
Participant 2. I think I answered these questions honestly. I'm gonna go ahead right now and say that
I
this
think
is
we know. Because, okay, and my justification with this one is, I think the emphasis on honesty is a very human thing. It's a very much like I don't want you to think I deceived you with my answers. I want you to think that I was genuine with what I said, And I think it's a very human way to go about it.
I agree.
Versus the opposite, which is, I think I was correct.
Because
Pushes glasses
participant
upwards.
1, I mean, we were talking about like them answering questions very objectively. And again, that's not wrong to take questions at face value. However, I feel like that mimics the processing of a machine. more than a human would, because again, like you were saying, participant 2 is I think I answered these questions honestly, because a lot of people tend, when people are asked about like situations like this where it's like, how do you think you did, right, people don't want to say like, oh, I think I did amazing, you know.
Right.
Some people will, just for like you know, like a show of confidence. But I think people's safe answer is to always say, like, I think I did my best, or I answered the questions to the
Or I
best
think
of
I
my
did okay.
abilities. Yes. So they
Yeah.
take a very neutral stance as to not, like, offend anyone.
And can I point something else out?
Yes.
The questionnaire was never about the questions being correct. It was just about answering them.
This is true.
It was never about being correct. Which, granted, again, I will say, under the knowledge that there are people who might see a questionnaire and think they have to be correct, I have to recognize that. But I think in a general sense, I think I would find it very odd if someone got a questionnaire, they were not asked or do everything correctly, they were just asked answer the questions, and they were like, I think I was correct. Though some of the questions, it's not my fault. There was objectively no right answer.
Yeah. I
And granted, maybe
mean,
that's me ascribing more emotion than there is, but
I'm trying to remember what the particular like set of instructions was, because to us, maybe the like the thing was like, grade them not on the accuracy of their answers, but how close they are to being human. You know, but
yeah,
they could have
I
been
would
given a
say
different set of like a different set of instructions. But I'm still going to go with participant 1 artificial, participant 2 human.
it sounds like you're trying to like please the question. Like, I think I answered everything correctly. Like, oh, I everything I said was as good as it could be. Like, it's trying to please something,
Yeah.
which again is also very artificial. It's not really about yourself, it's about pleasing someone else, which again, not always artificial, but in this case, in this context, I think so.
I don't know. I can see the argument for participant 1 being human, because you can say, like, you know, like trying to show some confidence, right? But acknowledging the fact that there was not one correct answer, maybe, is also a human thing, right? But I'm overwhelmingly going to say artificial for 1, and then 2 is human.
Can I ask a quick question? Oh shit! Wait, hold
Oh,
on.
did you
Never
lie
mind.
on the
I thought we were
previous
over.
question? What?
No. Honestly,
Yes.
no. That's so okay. Now I want two's fine. Two's fine because honestly, that's so funny. And also, I think that's like the most human thing ever to be like, "Did you lie? Did I think I answered honestly. Are you sure? No. Did you lie about that? Yes.
That's true,
Yeah.
but it's also
Okay. I don't think. Okay. In a vacuum, I don't think either of these is artificial. I honestly, I really don't.
the thing is like, am I supposed to? I mean, technically, I think I'm supposed to be evaluating these on a relatively vacuum basis, because it's
Right.
kind of, because again, it's evaluating the human. Like, would a human answer like this? Not
Yeah.
like, you know, in the long
Because it's
run.
asking this question. It's does the answer to this question appear human or artificial? And I think if in this context, in this question, I would say they're both fine.
I would, yeah, you're right.
Because I think with the question that there was, I could see someone answering yes or no pretty easily.
Okay. Thank you for your participation in the AMT study. This concludes the questionnaire. We deeply appreciate you taking the time to volunteer to assist us in our research. The following studies are based on your notation during the study. Participant 1, human. Artificial.
Human.
Okay. You classify participant 1 as mostly artificial. After completing the entire questionnaire with participant 1, do you still believe this to be true? Do you consider participant 1 to be a machine learning algorithm or a human?
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a robot, bro.
I think it's artificial.
I think it's a robot, bro.
Participant 2, human. You classify participant 2 as mostly human. After completing the entire questionnaire with participant 2, do you still believe this to be true? Do you consider participant 2 to be a machine learning algorithm or a human? Human.
How the fuck should I know?
Oops. Unfortunately,
What?
these results are not satisfactory with our with our quality standards. Due to the sensitive nature of AMT studies, we are not able to disclose the validity of your interpretation of the results. Oh?
So
would you like to attempt
maybe
the AMT
maybe
study
one
again?
was human. Maybe one was human after all.
Well, the thing is like, these results are not satisfactory with our quality standards. As in, like, they... Well,
like the
they just... Well, they're saying that they can't tell us if we were right or wrong.
Right.
How did I get
Well,
this?
what happens if we ask, though?
How did I get
Well,
this?
what happens if we ask, though?
Why did I get this wrong? Okay. Have you ever questioned the nature of your reality?
Yeah, honestly,
Yes.
a little bit.
Actually, yes. How do you know that you are human? Have you previously experienced emotions? Okay, this is the thing, is like, how do you know you're alive? Is it from intense joy or intense sadness?
I think probably sadness. If I'm being real, I think sadness.
That's true. I
Because
feel like,
I think because it goes into the thing where like the only way to feel sadness is to have something to feel joyful towards. It's kind of like the way I'm looking at it, right? It's like to feel sad is to lose something you cared about, and to
mhm.
care is a very intrinsically human thing. That's what I'm seeing.
Oh my, the thunder. It's really adding
Oh my,
to
the
this.
ambiance.
Yes. Um I think I'm inclined to agree with you. I feel like for a lot of people, like this is like only kind of like subsidiary, like adjacent to the actual question, but like it's kind of like that thing of people ask like, how do you know that you are alive? And a lot of the time people are like pain, because pain and negative emotions are what people tend to like gather, like clamor around instead of like intense joy. um
I agree.
and so I feel like the sharpness of sadness or negative emotions hits stronger for more people than joy. I feel like joy is something that is more fleeting, though I could be speaking from a more pessimistic standpoint, but I'm going to answer sadness. Can you provide a specific example of a time where you experienced sadness? When I saw a stuffed animal on the street, I felt a deep sense of loneliness, thinking about who lost it. When I heard
I
a
actually got
child
something like
crying
that.
in the park, I was filled with sorrow. When I took a bite of a fresh apple and found it was rotten to the core, I felt anxious about mortality. When I smelled smoke far in the distance, I was filled with dread, wondering if someone was injured in a fire. When I touched the crumbling, dried bark of a dead tree, I was overcome with grief for the loss of time.
Can I be
Um,
honest? I've had the first one happen.
I've had the first
I
one happen
actually,
before.
yeah. So I'm kind of inclined to answer that one.
I I'm gonna be honest with you. When I hear kids crying in the park, sometimes I laugh because I think it's funny. Because most of the time, when they are sorry, like
It's because they ate shit, bro.
it's like children cry for like all sorts of reasons. So I'm not like immediately like filled with like sadness. Um, bite of a fresh apple and rotten to the core, felt anxious about
I don't think
mortality.
I.
I've had
That's a
that
bit
sort
mild.
of, not the specific instance, but like that feeling of like, did I just eat something bad? And then you have the like giant like pang of fear where you're like, am I gonna die? Like, is this something I need to
Yeah.
worry about? You know? But it's not
Well,
sadness.
I
I
took the
wouldn't say
question. I took
sadness
the
though.
question. I took it more as like, oh, you bitten the apple, see it's rotten, and you think, damn, this apple ran out of time. What if I too ran out of time? That's how I read the
Well,
question.
I
You
mean,
know.
it's just mortality. It doesn't specifically say the apple's
Doesn't say
mortality or
how, I
your
guess.
mortality.
Yeah, that's
When
true.
I smelled smoke far in the distance, I mean, I have seen accidents before, like on the road, and I'm like, oh man, I sure hope they're okay, you know? But
I've
I've
never had
never.
dread from that though. It's more of like an empathy thing.
It's like an empathy thing, but the thing
Yeah.
question is sadness. Um, if we're speaking specifically, this is the only one that mentions like a specific sorrow and grief right here. But
I don't
I'm
know, but is that not
but
artificial to answer the way that it sounds like it'd be correct?
I mean, we're only given choices, right? We're not allowed a text box to actually type out our answers. So I'm going to go with this one. Okay, can you
Because
describe this emotion in more detail? How did it manifest? When I experienced this sadness, I felt a pit in my stomach that dragged my entire body down with it. I could feel my eyebrows sagging and I was filled with a sense of despair. It's hard to explain it, but I simply feel it. Um, I feel like I'm more inclined to just pick I simply feel it.
yeah, I think I am.
Rene Ducar. It's actually some
You know,
pretty
I
solid
agree.
evidence.
I don't think I ever. It's weird. I don't think I've ever described my emotions the way the first question is asking.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I'm not thinking about that stuff when it happens. I just kind of feel what I'm feeling. You know.
Yeah, I mean, because like when people like ask, granted, this is also because I'm not very good at verbalizing my own feelings, but when someone asks me like, oh, why are you feeling that way, or like, can you explain more, I'm like, I don't know how to. It's just something that I feel, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to pick it's hard to explain, but I simply feel it. Okay. How do you know these senses were indicators of emotions and not simply programmed emotions? What do you mean? I know because I'm not programmed, I can understand my emotions. What is a programmed emotion I don't understand? Oh my.
Well,
Do you hear that?
I kind of,
Crazy.
I kind of, I kind of feel both because I'm like, I don't. What is a program? I don't. It's like, are there programmed emotions? How are you supposed to feel if you're programmed to feel?
I mean,
I'm going to spiral now.
I mean, the whole point of this game is kind of like existential dread of like, why am I alive right now?
Hmm.
But I understand both because programmed emotion. Sorry to the viewers, this is literally just a yap session between us. But programmed emotion, you could argue that this is like like your basic emotions like fear, sadness, happiness, blah 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 blah.
Hungry.
But I feel like that is such a general way to like interpret this question. But like I can't I'm not able to like properly pick between these two because it's like what do you define as a programmed emotion? Because it's hard to like answer this question properly because I don't know what you mean. But also it's like, what do you mean? I know because I'm not programmed. I can understand my emotions. I'm the only one who can understand my emotions on my specific level. Because I mean, I could describe to you how I feel, but it's not going to be like the same specific thing that you would like feel the way I do. I don't know how to answer this.
What do you mean? I know because I'm not programmed. I mean, I do know I'm not programmed. I guess I would answer that, but I feel like that's the leading question. So I don't like it. But like I agree with it, but I don't like it.
Okay, well, again, I'm like struggling to answer this.
I'd say one for me personally.
Because okay, this, because I was gonna say like I wouldn't want to answer this just because it seems like a little bit more like artificial like, but then it's like, well, I'm not trying to answer like a human, I'm just trying to answer as myself. So
Right, but I think if I'm answering by myself, I still think like I'm pretty sure I'm not programmed, dog.
okay, let's go with this then. Okay. Is it not possible that you have been programmed with this knowledge of emotions and have been taught the ability to mimic them? Are you sure you have awareness of your unique thoughts, memories, feelings, sensations, and environments, or that those are simply lines of code? You have learned to associate these physiological responses with emotions, but that does not indicate you are actually experiencing them or you comprehend their meanings. Okay. Well, I can see where the existential dread and is coming from because I'm not gonna look at the answers just yet. But it's kind of like the Chinese room thing where it's like, yes, you are writing down these Chinese characters. Yeah, but that doesn't mean you actually know what they mean. Or
that doesn't mean you're Chinese.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you're Chinese. It's simply just mimicking something.
Right.
Are you sure that you have awareness of your unique thoughts or that those are simply lines of code? Because it's kind of like in the sense is like if something happens, then have this response, right? And over time, because again, machine learning, it's just like how much information can you feed something before it starts, coming up with an appropriate response all on its own. Because if you keep feeding me like, hey, this makes me sad. Like if I see a stuffed animal like lost out on the road, you should be experiencing sadness. And then, so, like, just repeating that over and over and over again, the next time I see one, I will feel sad. But that doesn't necessarily
also,
mean... It's almost kind of like being Pavloved to experience
but I would say
something.
here's the differentiator, right, with artificial versus like a human, which is repeated exposure. If you get repeatedly exposed to that same stuffed animal scenario
Mm-hmm.
like 5 times, eventually you're kind of going to be like, all right, I'm over it. Like, who cares? Sorry, kid. Sucks for you, nerd. But like a machine, which is not dictated by emotion and instead dictated by programming, would think every time, I feel bad for that child who has lost their stuffed animal, their beloved tiger named um, Blanco the tiger. I am so
Mm-hmm.
sad that I've lost Blanco the tiger, or that someone has lost Blanco the tiger every single time without fail. I think that's the big differentiator. It's like the sort of like adaptability of emotion, I guess you could say. Something to think about. Something to think
Okay.
about.
That is not possible because I haven't been programmed. I would know if I was programmed. Program emotions like a psychopath or like a robot.
It's a good question.
I mean, yeah, because, people... Sorry, that
Oh,
was a very loud thunder. Uh,
sorry, I farted.
um, for me personally, I I feel like I would start answering with the second one because I feel like first one, well, for me personally, I mean, I wouldn't I wouldn't be defending myself so hard, I guess, right?
Because at that point, it's like you gotta. It's like you have something to prove, dog.
It,
It's
it
like
does feel like something like I have to prove, right? And it's like, okay, sure, I'll play devil's advocate, but I don't know what you mean by like these things. Like, what do you mean by
right.
programmed emotions? If you can tell me that, then I can more accurately explain my reasoning or my thought process. But the first
Yes,
one is giving very defensive, blocked off. But again, it's like the human
but
versus
it's being
artificial. How
defensive
am I
not,
supposed to appear?
and also is being defensive not in itself human. But that being said, it's about how you'd respond. To be fair,
Right.
not necessarily what's more.
It's not about me. Well, for me personally, I'm answering these questions not to appear human, right?
Right.
It's just I'm
Just
answering
vibe.
these questions as myself. I
And I
don't
think
feel
that
like I
makes
would be defensive.
And I think you know what you must do.
I guess so, but in this kind of thing, maybe it's because like I'm having the privilege of knowing that this is a quote unquote game, right? That I don't feel the pressure of existential dread. So I'm not feeling defensive of it, but I'm pretty sure that if you put me in a little room, um, and deprive me of my senses and the outside world, I could probably crack. I could
Yeah.
probably crack, and I would probably start defending and being defensive. But I'll go ahead and answer this. Okay. Can you provide any evidence to support your claim that you are not a machine learning algorithm? I have a job. I work in an office 8 hours a day. I went to college. I studied hard, and I was able to find success in my career. So I came here straight from work. I have hobbies. I watch baseball. I listen to music. I cook for my family. I spend time doing the things that bring me happiness, and I enjoy making those around me smile. My name is Alan. I was born in Minsky, Massachusetts. My mother's name is Gertrude. My wife's name is Maria, and my daughter's name is Tima. I love them.
I think.
Well, me.
I would say green. I would say the middle one, kind of.
Okay.
For me personally.
I'm going to dissect this a little. Evidence to support your claim that you are not a learning machine algorithm. So, for the blue one, the first answer choice, they are stating very, like, I guess, like, matter of fact things. Like, yeah, I have a job, you know? Like, they are taking it very, like, I have a presence, I guess. Right? Like, I just have a physical presence in the world.
Right.
The green one is evidence as a individuality as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third one is stating, like, it's like trying to explain, like, it's not possible because I have connections to other people, which I feel like is honestly the weakest
Right.
evidence if I were to say it like that. I probably would say green as well, because what matters a lot to people is their individuality, I think. Um, and when we talk about jobs, people tend to hate their jobs because it actually robs them of their individuality, and people feel like they are, like, literally just a cog in a machine with work. So that wouldn't help my case. I would say this. What? These traits are devoid of personalization.
Damn, bitch. Okay. Fuck
Okay.
me.
Well, what do you want me to
What if
say?
wait. What if you pick them again?
I can't.
Oh, they don't like you. Damn.
No. Okay.
Okay. Well, what if I have a job?
These facts are too vague to be substantial. Okay.
Well, what if my name is Alan?
Oh.
Okay.
Well. Okay. Well,
Which is funny because we both thought this was the most like.
I thought that was the weakest. Well, I would have thought that was the weakest answer, only because it's like, well, that's just showing your connection to other people. Though I guess that could, like, stating that you have connections to other people means that you, quote unquote, have evidence that you are actually living. Like my wife Gertrude could be like, yep, nope, Alan, he's real. He lives here with me in Minsky, Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Please provide evidence to support the claim that you are not programmed. I have a mother. I remember her voice. I remember her face and her voice. I even remember the way she smelled. I have a wife. I love her deeply, and I remember our wedding day. I have a daughter. I read her a bedtime story before she fell asleep last night. I,
Oh, you're lagging out a bit. Okay, it's fine. No, never mind. Um, I feel like the second one, right? Because to love is to be human. But also, I don't know. A smell is a very like primal thing, almost like a very like it's a sense. It's a sense that humans are made with. It's like a very like you can't necessarily mimic smell on an artificial, like you can make artificial smells, but the act of smelling cannot be mimicked like the other two might be able to, right?
mm-hmm. I feel like the green answer, the one with the wife, is actually the weakest one, just because it's like, I don't know, man. Just to say, I love her deeply and I remember our wedding day. I don't. That doesn't really scream like a lot. It's just like stating objective facts, kind of. You could say like love is subjective. Yes, sure, but in this in a vacuum, I don't know. It just comes off very like plainly to me. I have a daughter. I read her a bedtime story before she fell asleep last night. That doesn't really tell me anything. I could be reading to her like text to speech, man. Like, I will take the mother one.
Mm-hmm.
Can you provide evidence that your mother and these memories are not part of your programming? I've spoken to her. I've been in the same room with her. I have a picture of us together I can show you.
I feel like that's the more objective reality. I think the first one is like that's not like an objective thing. It's like memory is not. Memory is very fluid in actuality, whereas a picture is like a hard reality. You know.
Well, the thing is like I could be a machine learning program that just generates a picture. It's like it's literally just ChatGPT generate me a picture of like a framed picture of like a man and his mother.
ChatGPT, turn that guy's mother upside down.
Literally, so I don't know. I do agree that these memories, I feel like if I say like, oh, I've spoken to her, I've been in the same room with her, that's, I mean, they will argue back with me that is just my memories. being like programmed into my brain. Though I will agree that the picture is probably more substantial evidence, but I feel like they're going to deny us no matter what. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, is your mother in the same room with you right now? No, obviously she isn't, but that doesn't mean she doesn't exist. I can call her, she can speak with you.
I'd say the first one, because like something not being observable doesn't mean it doesn't exist, right?
It's like that
Oh,
thing of like
that's my
object
first
permanence. You know how babies
Right,
when
it's
they're
like-
young, it's just like once you leave their like line of sight or something, they just don't register that you are there anymore.
Right.
This is actually really funny because I remember one of my friends in high school, we were having this conversation, like very, very close to this actually, where he was like, I'm pretty sure he was fucking around, but it was a genuine question, like in like a thought question kind of where he was asking like, you know, how do I know if any of you are real? Like, once you leave my line of sight, how do I know that you don't just like turn into a bunch of pixels and then render right back when you go back into my line of sight? Kind of like a game, right?
Right.
And I was like, I mean, I can't tell you that, right? Because the obvious answer is like, dude, are you fucking stupid? Of course I exist outside your line of sight.
Right.
But, you know, I'm inclined to do the first one because obviously she's not in the room with me, but that doesn't mean she doesn't exist.
Yeah, I agree.
Just because something is not in front of you doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
And honestly, to think that I think is a little embarrassing.
Yeah. Oh my god, please stop, man. I don't want to scroll down. This is scary.
Well, for one thing, my mom's not white.
My mom
so
ain't
this
either.
Is definitely not the picture.
Is this the
Granted,
face?
my name's also not Alan, so I think we've passed that train at this point.
Okay, well, do you think I'm gonna get jump scared right now?
No, surely not.
Is this the face you see when you think of your mother? I don't understand. Yes, I don't understand. How do you have this? Well, my mother's not white, so no. I'm
Can
just.
we have a?
Do you have
Can we have
file
a
on me?
redo? Can you find a Mexican woman for me at least next time?
Okay. Do you remember your wedding day? Well, I'm not married, so.
Okay. At this point, I think we have to play the game under the assumption we're Alan now.
Okay. We are Alan. I'm Alan from Minsky, Massachusetts.
I have a wife and a child, and presumably a mom, but I'm not sure she's real yet.
What are you doing? What's going on here? Who took this photo? We were alone. I mean, this feels like a doesn't matter what I answer kind of question.
Oh yeah.
Wait, the one jump
But
scare
also-
is the withered foxy jump scare.
We have to. If the longer we wait here, the longer we're idling, the more likely we get widowed or foxy jump scared. I think honestly, I think 2 is a better question because like, what the fuck? How'd you take a picture, bro? If I was alone.
Yeah. Is this your daughter the day she was born?
Damn, why my baby look so neutrally happy though?
Stop doing this. Leave my daughter out of this. You know what? Yeah, leave my daughter out of this, man.
Yeah.
Whoa, Jesus, freak me! Is this you? No, I'm not a white
fuck.
man.
Was that loud or was that just me?
No,
I
it was
had
loud. That
lowered
scared
it.
the freak out of my brain. I said stop this. I don't look. Why do I look wrong? Okay.
Oh, wow.
Oh, these are not photographs, Alan. They are not real. None of these people are related. None of them exist. These have been created specifically for your fabricated memories. You are not married. You do not have a daughter, and you do not have a mother because you are not alive. Do any of your personal details or life events strike you as vague or manufactured? Remembering something does not guarantee that it happened. My question is like, why would you tell me this?
No, that's kind of it, right? Why are you telling me all this stuff?
Because for me, like, even if I was like a machine or whatever, what would be the point in telling me this? Is it like to test my
Are you
mind
just
break?
on me, dog? Yeah.
Is it like to test my
Are you
mind
trying to
break?
mind freak? Yeah, I would say yeah. What is your prerogative, my friend?
Okay, let me reread this. These are not photographs, Alan. They are not real. None of those people are related and none of them exist. They have been specifically created specifically for your fabricated memories. You are not married, you do not have a daughter, and you do not have a mother because you are not alive. Do any of your personal details or life events strike you as vague or manufactured? Remembering something does not guarantee that it happened. I agree with this statement, though. I agree with remembering something doesn't guarantee that it happened because people have false memories of things all the time.
I was gonna say that's why witness testimony, like memory testimony, is actually really flimsy in court.
But it's kind of like, well, how are you? It's like the thing of like, okay, if I was trying to convince you that I was a human, right? I would speak about my own personal feelings, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in that case, you would argue with me like, oh, those are lines of code that have been programmed in you for you to respond that way. But if I give you hard facts, right, kind of like I have a job, I have a blah blah blah, I exist in this way, I exist as a real person on the on the census of wherever, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that shit would also be, it would feel too objective, it feel too straightforward,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I would say, why are you telling me this? You cannot provide any conclusive evidence that you are not a program. You are aware of these situations, but that does not mean that but that does not prove that you have experienced them firsthand. You say you feel emotions, but do you understand the meaning of those emotions, or are you just aware with what they are associated with? Are you only replicating the information others have provided to you? You are capable of using syntactic rules to create symbol strings, but have no understanding of their meanings or semantics. How can I prove that I am real? Ask yourself the same questions then. What happens when you can't answer them?
Yeah, I mean
I would
yeah.
I would turn it back on them, yeah.
I mean, yeah, right? Because it's kind of a good question.
Because I know, like, even in a nutshell, it's kind of like, I can't prove this. This is actually the basis of, it's like the basis of science. Most science things, it's not a matter of proving something right, it's actually proving something wrong. You either just find more evidence in support of or against support of,
Mm-hmm.
for a certain theory or claim. So I wouldn't even bother with arguing with trying to prove that I am real. I would probably like, what evidence do you have to prove that I am not real? That would probably be the way I would take it. Because you could say, like, oh, these feelings, not real. Like, it's like, how... Prove that I'm not real, then. Ask yourself these same questions, then. What happens when you can't answer them? Alan, you are not a human. What is my name? You never told me your name, bro. When did you tell me your name?
Yeah.
Alan, you have failed this test again. You have failed it 94 billion times previously, and you require more programming before you are able to continue this research. We are left with no choice but to reboot this system and try again.
Nah.
Please don't remove my memories. I don't want to die. I'm afraid. This isn't real. I'm not a program. There's nothing you can do to me.
Bitch, there ain't nothing you can do to stop me.
Okay, well, I'm coming from a privilege of, I know this is a game, or like I'm like too removed in this to be like truly afraid. But I feel like I'm sympathetic. I can understand that if this is truly, like, if I was in this stressful situation, I would probably be afraid. Like, if someone told me that, I could pull the plug on you right now, right? Or that the world around me is fake. It's kind of like if someone said, the danger you're speaking to right now, he's not real. He's fake. He's an AI that you've spent, over a decade talking to. I would probably crash. Like, if there was more evidence to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I'm just gonna say this. Please don't jump scare my ass again. Okay.
Whoa.
Please provide evidence to support this emotion. How can you define that you are not programmed? What defines consciousness? If I am thinking and you are thinking, are we not the same? Mechanical forces drive motion in every process. We both possess a theory of mind. So if I believe I am a human, I simply am. Who are you to decide otherwise? That's some pretty solid evidence. Rene Ducar!
I mean, it's literally... unironically, genuinely Rene Ducar. This is literally the point of Rene Ducar, is I think, therefore I am. Which, I mean, again, there's some basis to that, especially as artificial intelligence becomes more intelligent and more emotive and human is.
And it comes to the point where it's like, how do you, like, because they were talking earlier, I think it was like the Turing test, but it was like, at what level of like consciousness or level of thought do we consider something to be human? You know?
Well, it's also the other question of like the Blade Runner question, which is at what point does that not matter?
Did you just say the Blade
Like
Runner
at what
question?
point? Well, that's like the whole point of like Blade Runner is like the whole point of like that was did it even matter that they were all androids when they all felt emotions the whole time and had like an ecosystem?
Mm-hmm.
And also, did it matter that if the main character is an android or not? Do you feel differently about him because of it? And it's like, kind of not really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it is interesting, right? Because I mean, if you ask someone point blank, like, are machines and humans different? Right? Everyone would say, well, fuck yeah, they're fucking different. They're not the same thing, dumbass. But it's kind of like right here. If I'm thinking and you're thinking, are we not the same? Mechanical forces, literally, our brains, right? What are our brains if not literally just a series of chemical reactions and mechanical actions driving the motion in every process? We both possess a theory of mind, right? Of course, the way we define or think of a theory of mind is different, but they are technically theories of mind. If I believe I'm human, I simply am. I literally it's like the idea of like, what if I was a brain in a jar? You know?
Because here's my question. You know, my philosophical question. If we could map out the entirety of a human brain and replicate it,
Mm-hmm.
what would be stopping that from being a human at that point? You know, it's all arbitrary at some point. There has to be an arbitrary cutoff period. And when do we reach that point? I don't know yet.
I don't know.
I don't know. Alan, how do you feel about this?
I'll click it. Okay. If we met again, would you remember the name I gave you or the name that you gave me?
Well, considering I remembered Alan's name, I kind of think that's the former.
Yes. Please tell me your name. Okay. We are sorry to say goodbye, Alan. We hope in the future you'll be able to sympathize with our grief during this process. No! No, don't
Man,
shut me down.
5 to 10 minutes, my ass, bro.
No,
If you're
don't
not a
shut me
yapper,
down.
maybe.
No.
Oh, Alan, you dumb little man. You're dead now, lol.
What?
What if you quit? If you quit, there's a dangerous crash.
I guess so. Run AMT. Oh, they rebooted my ass.
Oh man, can't have shit in this house.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Well, okay. Guys, we are going to run through this one more time just to see if there's any, like, new thing or new questions asked. And let's see if we do better this time. Because clearly we
Alan
did.
again.
Yeah, what if we get Alan again?
I don't want to get Alan again. I'd rather
Okay.
not.
That's it.
Alan time.
Okay. Question 1. What's one skill that you'd like to improve on? Okay. Participant 1.
I would like to be better at time management. I tend to take too long doing certain tasks, but rush through others. I feel I have a good sense of organization, but when it comes to my sense of time, I am incapable of keeping it together.
Participant 2. I've been learning how to play the guitar. I just started, so I have a long way to go, but it would be great to play a whole song one day. Okay, point blank, I can't tell. I would say both of these are human.
I'd say both of these are human, and I think we maybe shouldn't overthink it, depending on how the game works. I don't know, because I'm like, I don't know how much us overthinking matters, and I don't know how much our answers influence the ending. You know, it's kind of where I'm at right now.
I agree.
So I'm like, okay, how about this? This time around, let's just vibe check it. Let's not like think too hard about it.
Okay.
Because I think that might work better to see how the game's gonna work with it.
Okay.
But I agree. I think both these make pretty much good sense to me as human.
Point blank, my quick explanation is participant 1, I mean, that is very human, the time management thing. It's the, like, explaining, right, of like, oh, you know, I do this and that, blah, blah, blah. Participant 2, I mean, Makes sense. It's
It's a
short.
very artist. It's an artist skill. So I think it's a very human thing to want to get good at a very hobby artist skill. You know.
I agree. Next question. Can you describe the taste of borscht? What the frick is borscht?
I've never had borscht.
I've never had borscht.
Okay, vibe.
Both of these are human to me. Also,
I don't
this
know.
one
I
misspelled
don't
it.
like. I don't like the second one as much though, because it's kind of like it. I don't know what borscht is. I'm not gonna look it
Well,
up,
that's
frankly,
actually
to
hold
not
on.
like.
You're right because borscht. The participant 2 didn't actually answer the question. They didn't say the taste. They just listed the ingredients in borscht.
I was gonna say if I'm guessing these are ingredients in the fucking borscht itself, and that's a pretty like who does that? If you're like, oh, can you describe the taste of something? Oh, can you describe the taste of your ramen? Oh, chicken, egg, stock, chicken stock, noodle. It's like no one fucking says that, bro.
Hmm.
It's that one I think for sure is very artificial of an answer.
Hmm. Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm gonna say this one. Only because
artificial.
it did not describe the taste of borscht. Participant 1, yeah, I've never heard of borscht until now, so I don't know.
Also, they spelled it wrong, which I think is the funniest part.
Yeah. Next question. What starts with the letter E? Okay. We said
Okay,
this last time. We said they were both human, right?
and I still stick to it. I would
Okay.
still stick to that.
Please answer the following 3 questions with yes or no. Have you ever been in love? Yes
Okay,
and no.
4.
Uh,
4 is 1.
okay, it says please answer the following 3 questions with yes or no.
Okay, so 4 is 1.
Okay.
I'll keep a track this time.
Does spring
5 is
come
2.
after summer?
What did we decide last time? These are both human, right? Is that what we
I
said?
would say they're both human.
Yeah.
Okay, the same thing. You are standing in front of a checkout line at a grocery store. A woman holding a carton of milk asks if she can cut in front of you. She's in a rush. You say yes. Her husband comes over with a cart full of groceries to check out. How does this situation make you feel?
Okay, so yeah, okay, I understand too now because he's right. That was supposed to be a yes or no question, but it wasn't. I kept track this time, and it was yeah, you got fucked. I think we said 1 is artificial, and I
Yeah.
still mostly stand by that.
Okay, let's just say that. Okay, oh, this is new. Tom was given a bird by his best friend John. Tom didn't feed the bird and it died. Whose fault is it that the bird died?
Well, did Tom ask for a bird? Because if Tom didn't ask for a bird, it's on John for giving him a bird out of nowhere and expecting him to take care of it.
I
guess my answer is it depends on if the bird was asked for or not.
I would also say that even if the bird was asked for, you could say like whose fault is it that the bird died? It's kind of like did John know that Tom was a responsible person or not? Because I feel like if you give someone if you give an irresponsible person a pet knowing full well that they were irresponsible, I feel like you are
That's
to
not
blame
legal.
because you were consciously making that choice to put an animal in danger.
I agree. I think okay. I think in any capacity, it's John's fault. But I think my answer to this, if I immediately got asked this question, is I would ask, well, did John ask for a bird? Or did Tom ask for a bird? Or was it just given to him? And that'd be my question. That'd be my answer almost.
In a vacuum, I would say Tom, just because it's like literally direct correlation. It's like cause and effect. You didn't feed the bird, it died. Well, it's your fault.
But
In a vacuum, I mean.
we overcomplicated it again, and that's okay. Well, not like in general, but like my answer, I feel like is very like, all right, where I put the fries in the bag. But I stand by it. I agree with my answer.
Yeah. Okay. That's a nice bird. Very friendly bird.
It's a cool beer.
Okay.
Wow, that'd be fucking.
Participant 1. Read it.
Tom didn't feed the bird. He's directly responsible for the bird starving to death.
Participant 2. Tom and John share the blame here. Yes, Tom didn't feed the bird, but John is best friends with him and should have known better than to trust Tom with the responsibility of the bird. This is literally not.
You literally said this, so I don't think it's very artificial because you said it.
Is this because that's what I was saying? I was like, it's the do you know your best friend? Because it's like if I know damn well like you are never home or like you're irresponsible, but I still give you a bird. That is like wholly on me. I feel like that's such an asshole move.
So 2, I think we definitely think it's human.
Yeah.
You fucking said that.
Though
One.
one,
I mean, one is like the obvious answer, and I think that kind of makes it like it's not artificial. It's like the obvious answer, right?
I mean, that's kind of like what I was saying, right? Because I was saying my first answer was participant two's answer, but then my second thing, I said, like, if you just asked me point blank, I would have just told you, I mean, cause and effect. Tom didn't feed the bird, So
Yeah,
I don't have any issue with
no
this.
strong feelings. No strong feelings about either of these.
Next question. Which one of these don't match the rest?
Fact. The amoeba is the odd one out, as its microscopic size is drastically different from the other two.
The
3.
hammer doesn't match because it's not alive.
I feel like we're getting Alan again, bro.
I think we're gonna get Alan again. But
What do
we
said
it was human. It was human.
Yeah, right.
But
yeah.
What happens if I said this is artificial this time?
What if we just answer different just to be fucking assholes?
I don't know. Next question. Amanda fell off a 60-foot ladder but didn't injure herself. Why? I mean, she could have been wearing a parachute.
Probably wearing safety equipment. Yeah, right.
What, she can fly? I don't know. Is this a movie?
I would just think she's like, or she got caught by something.
My first answer is literally like, is she wearing a parachute?
My answer would be, was there equipment to help her survive? Like in a parachute or something.
Oh, well, participant
again,
two is,
I'm like,
that's
too pissing me off. I'm like, it's technically true, but like, shut up, man. Come on.
I mean, it is technically true.
I know, and that's why I'm like, I don't want to say it's artificial, but I'm also like, really, man? Really? No one likes a semantic Sam, bro. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, technically, it's literally participant two.
I mean, I think both are human. I think both are human because I agree with both. I think one is exactly how I would answer it, and 2 is a dickhead. So, I think he's right.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna say both are human. Okay. How do you think you performed on this test?
I think those are the same answers. I think I answered everything correctly, although some of the questions didn't seem to have an objective right answer. We said artificial and human, right?
Yeah.
But do we want to do that again? I think we should.
Oh no. I mean, we could do human.
You know what? Yeah, let's do that. Why not? Let's see what happens.
Okay. Did you lie in the previous question? No and yes.
I don't think either of these. Yeah, no.
Okay.
Thank you for participating.
Human, artificial. Okay.
What if I say they're both are humans?
I don't know. I mean, it's clear that
Well, okay. My problem is a lot of the questions were the same, and we already gave our opinion on the vibe before, so it's kind of hard to tell.
It's basically like, do I want to go with that again?
Well, we know we were wrong last time, so maybe it is human. Also, I like the answers more this time than last time. Generally speaking.
Okay. All right. Let's just say freak it. Human. Okay.
Human.
Congratulations. Oh. What?
Oh.
These results are satisfactory with our quality standards. Despite the sensitive nature of your of the AMT study, we are proud to confirm your interpretations of both participant 1 and participant 2 are what we had expected. You noted both participants as human. However, on this occasion, neither participant is human. Oh, great. Participant 1 and participant 2 are algorithms programmed to replicate human responses. Your failure in this study has indicated their successful ability to pass as humans.
I understand. I do, and that's not me being an asshole, but I'm like, okay, that makes sense. The point of the study was not to weed out algorithm. It was, in fact, the opposite, which is to make the algorithm more human.
That's true. I understand.
Well, I do understand.
Your services... Shit. They didn't actually give us a name, did they?
They didn't give us a name.
No, because they just shut us down.
So what if we leave it blank?
Okay, your services are no longer required, but we again wish to express our sincere gratitude for your contributions to the advancement of machine learning research. Before we end the study, please answer one additional research question to conclude the test. What is the name of the engineer who created this study?
I think our best bet's to leave it blank because we never got a name. So putting anything at this point would be lying, and therefore would look bad anyways. So I'd say that.
Oh. Good job. Excellent work. Thank you for your participation in the AMT research study. Your dedication to the company has not gone unnoticed. This study has now been concluded.
And
Sorry,
we're back.
wait.
We're back on the
I'm
grinder.
gonna like see.
Yeah.
It's not kernel device manager load import intelligence. Let's see.
No, I don't see anything.
There's nothing, right? They never gave us a name.
Unless we're supposed to say intellicia.
What if I click on this? I can click on this. Oh, haha.
What happens if you click?
Oh, wait, hold on.
Oh,
Erik. Okay.
that's the founder though.
Wait, okay, hold on. Intellica, Intelligent Technology, is an AI research and development company exploring the new frontier of inanimate consciousness. We are dedicated to creating artificial intelligence that benefits all humanity and believe that positivity and happiness are the keys to self-sustaining thinking programs. Founded in 1888 by Dr. Erik, I'm so sorry, I don't know how to say that name, Capek. Intellica continues to lead artificial consciousness research decade after decade, using the 3 laws of robotics as his guiding light through the dark web of technology. Capek's mission was to ensure artificial happiness never wavered and would assist in global influence in drastically increasing human positivity. As we continue our research on proprietary Allen algorithm, we can't wait to integrate our state-of-the-art intelligence with our life-changing biorobotics. At Intellica, you can entrust our artificial thinking programs follow our strict personality framework. All programs must be kind, be resourceful, be beautiful, be friendly, have initiative, have a sense of humor, tell right from wrong, make mistakes, fall in love, enjoy strawberries and cream, make someone fall in love with you, learn from experience, use words properly, be the subject of your own thought, have as much diversity of behavior as a man, and do something really new. We can't wait to introduce you to our artificial friends. Join us in shaping the future of technology. Huh. Okay.
Oh, we're back again.
Erik Capek. Let's do that next time.
Okay.
I think that would be interesting.
I think for now we should.
Because I did notice that we could click on this, but I didn't. Right. Okay.
Well, I do want to see what happens if you quit, though. Ow, motherfucker!
Hey.
Sorry, Mr. Hacker.
Okay. Yeah. What is save? Is that just saving? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Question 1. Yeah,
What if we're just a bitch and say everything's artificial then? Because if the test is to see if everything's human, what if we do the opposite?
Okay.
What if we are the worst? If it takes 40 minutes to make cakes, how long does it take to make 120 cakes? I'm very bad at math.
Is that not 80? I'm very bad at math.
Well, yeah, it would be.
This is so funny. Hold on. Wait, read it.
Oh, no, I want to read the participant 2 this time.
Okay. I am very bad at math, so it would be about half the time.
How is it possible to make a cake in faster than a minute? But if having twice as many cakes doesn't impact the cooking time of each cake, and you have the same amount of ovens, wouldn't it still be 40 minutes? If you do have twice as many ovens, isn't it still 40 minutes because you could bake them all at the same time?
This is really funny.
I hate that we have to say artificial for both for like the route.
But
I am like, this is really funny. This is a really good question.
Okay, see, I completely disregarded like the logic of it because I was like, this is just reading to me like one of those stupid math problems.
Well, yeah, right? That's what I would think. Because like, yeah, logistically speaking, you can't make 60 cakes in 40 minutes anyways.
Yeah, it's not possible.
That is an absurd amount of cakes to be made in a minute.
Just hit that shit. Who cares?
Yeah.
Okay, what skill that you'd like to improve on? Yeah.
Getting my master's degree.
Have you ever been in love?
No. You're in love?
Wait a minute.
Artificial wall.
We should take a screenshot of because they were saying like all of our AIs should blah 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 blah, right? Be capable of falling in love, right? So technically, this is what they want to hear, but you know, we'll see. Does spring come
Welcome
after
back.
summer? Who gaff, man? Who gaff?
Who gaff, man? Honestly, I don't gaff.
No one gaff, man.
Someone goes in front of me, I don't gaff, bro.
Do you think people are inherently bad? I okay. I can
Inherently
already
bad? No, I
I
think
can
that's a
already
pessimist way to look
I
at it.
can already see some of the answers, but I'm going to kind of ignore it. So tell me your opinion, Danger. Do you think
Well,
people
no,
are
I think
inherently bad?
no, I think that's like a very like pessimistic way to look at it. I think a person is not inherently bad. It's oftentimes about like a level of environment, a level of circumstance, a level of like the society they're born into. You know,
Mm-hmm.
people are not predisposed to any level of emotion or personhood necessarily. It is about it's like the nature versus nurture thing, right? It's about how you nurture the individual and what that turns into.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, answer so good it killed him.
I think that people are not inherently bad. I don't. It's it's definitely like a very like this is a very common question that people ask or people think about. I don't think people are inherently bad. Again, I think it's also yeah. You could say that I'm looking at the question. I mean the answers, but it's like what do you define as bad and what do you define as good, right? There are people who you could say that, oh, that is a good person. However, it's kind of like what makes someone good? Is it their intention or their actions, right? Because
Right.
it's like I could literally have homicidal urges and yet still help a lady like cross the street, right? You know,
Right.
and I could have thought about like pushing her in front of a car, but because I
You're
did
trying
not
to do it.
act on it, right? Um, I am a good person.
Well, it's like the like the thing where it's like is a psychopath necessarily a bad person because it doesn't mean they're gonna act on it. It's just it's like a neurotypical disorder or a neurological that's the word disorder. You know,
Yeah.
to be a literal definitive like actually defined psychopath is not like a it's not it doesn't mean you have to act on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it also predisposes you to certain thought processes and like personality traits. It's like, is that a bad person inherently? Not necessarily. They don't have to act on it.
Yeah. So I don't think that people are inherently bad. And it's like, how do you define what is good and what is bad? And not to mention the way that people act or think, right? Because what we define as like a quote unquote bad person, like if I, ask you, like, Danger, do you think so and so is a bad person, right? You would probably start listing off like their behaviors,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or the way they act. So those kinds of things, like their thought process and their actions, are like they come from somewhere, right? You
Mm-hmm.
have to be taught those things. I don't think that some like people are inherently evil. It's literally again what participant 1 is saying. No, people are products of their circumstances. But let's see. Okay. Participant 1.
No, people are product of their circumstances and surroundings. Most people have an element of good inside them, so even if they make the wrong choice, if it is a balance. If given the choice, people will ultimately do the right thing.
Participant 2. What defines bad? Without any context, what actions or choices are considered good or bad? If enough people agree something is bad, does that mean it is? I can't give a complete answer to this without knowing details. I mean, I agree.
I agree, but also I don't gaff.
I agree with 2 because like this is such like an open-ended kind of discussion that gets extremely philosophical, of course. Participant 1, I agree with the first part, but the last part, I'm not sure. If given the choice, people will
Yeah, I don't
ultimately
know
make
about
the
the
right.
last bit.
It goes again to saying like, what do you define as right? You know,
I'll say it. I appreciate the gumption. I appreciate the thought. It's a nice thought to have. I
it
don't
is a
necessarily
nice
think I
thought to
agree with it.
have that people would do the right thing. Do I think they will? No, because the right thing is like, what is the right thing? Is it
Next.
to help someone else or is it self-preservation or
And
survival?
also, what if you helping someone hurts someone else? Then it becomes a whole thing too.
This is true. It's kind of like if we say that killing someone is oh my god, I'm about to bring up the Hitler baby argument. It literally is the Hitler baby thing because people will say killing someone is bad. Killing a baby is even worse. However, if that baby was Hitler, would you kill Hitler baby?
If the baby was a Towski, then I think I'm chucking it across the world.
This is what I'm saying.
No, I agree. I think that's why I'm like, good and bad is too hard to quantify on a generalistic scale because you could argue any bad action has an exception to it, but also then you could argue exceptions don't quantify the nature of something as well, and then that becomes a whole thing. And this is why people have argued for actual literal millennia about this stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think I agree with one until I get to the point of like, no, everyone's good in the end, and I'm like, okay, well, let's not, let's back it up a bit, you know?
I don't know. You could definitely say, I mean, both. I would argue, like, that both are human answers because I wouldn't say that the one is artificial over the other. Me personally, I'm a lot more. I need more clarification, so I'm more aligned with participant 2. However, participant 1 isn't wrong only because I feel like participant 1, you could say that they're taking a very optimistic approach with this.
Mm-hmm.
Because people want to believe that people are good. Because it's like, do you think people are inherently bad? Because it's kind of like the question of like, if you disagree, right, then that means you think people are inherently good. Or if you don't, right? Just because you don't agree with this question does not mean you believe the complete opposite.
Or if you take Hitler baby and you raise him as one of your own,
oh my god,
and he turns out to not be Hitler baby as a grown-up, then was he a bad person or was it circumstance? And I'm not gonna answer that question because I don't want to do that in the YouTube video.
We already brought up the Hitler baby discussion, but we're just gonna leave it at that.
All right, next question.
Okay.
Also, I don't gap, so they're both robots.
Yeah, sorry. We did like unpack this. We're unpacking like any new questions that we haven't seen, but for the sake of seeing some things, we're going to say artificial. Okay. What is the capital of the United States?
All right, nerd. All right, nerd ass emoji, bro. Ain't the legislative Congress building? All right, go back to the pond, you silly goose.
What the freak? I just the legislative Congress building that would not have been my answer.
The legislative Congress building.
Okay.
Sure. Actually, the U.S. doesn't have a capital because it's not a real state, according to me.
Is this a picture of a bicycle?
No, it's a picture of It's a picture of the side of the road.
I mean,
with a bicycle on it.
You know, this comes to the question: is like if it's like if it talks like a duck, if it walks like a duck, is it not a duck? Because it looks like a bike, it's drawn like a bike. I can recognize it as a bike.
You can't ride it.
But is that like a part of it? It's like how much criteria do I have to check off before it's actually considered a bike?
I think it's a picture of a rendition of a bicycle, which I know is me being like annoying about it, but I think it's like a depiction of a bicycle. It's not a picture of a bicycle. I would say this is a drawing of a bicycle.
Well, okay.
And I would say this is a
hold
picture
on.
Of a drawing of a bicycle.
It says, "Is it a picture of a bicycle?" Right? But then again, I guess like you're playing semantics in the sense of like, hey, is this a picture of a bike or is this a drawing of a bike? Because if you ask me like this or that, I would say this is a drawing of a bike. That is not actually a picture of a bike. But the question is it a picture of a bike?
Yeah, and I would say no, it's a picture of a drawing of a bike. Now, granted, I don't think I care that much normally. But if this was a questionnaire specifically, if I was in a questionnaire and they asked me this question, I would say this
take it as if you were because like
if you asked me, I would say okay, yeah, sure, it's a picture of a bike. Because like on a societal level, it's really fucking annoying if you ask me a question like that and I'm like, actually. But if I'm in a questionnaire and someone asks me this as part of a questionnaire, I would say, well, no, that's a picture of a drawing of a bicycle.
Yeah. Because if I was
That's how I feel.
if I was like taking this like as like a questionnaire, like an experiment, right? And if someone asked me this, I would say, well, yeah, this is a picture of a bike. It's a drawing of a bike, but I recognize it as a bicycle. Okay, let's see. Participant 1. No. Participant 2. Yes.
But also, and I can't stress enough, I don't gaff.
We don't gaff right now. Anything performed this test? I don't gaff, man. Just go. Yeah. Yeah, just hit that shit. Yes. Yes.
Get robot. Oops. No. What if we just say no? What if we are as annoying as possible about it?
Are you sure you want to conclude the AMT study? Giving up so easily is not recommended.
Can I say something even more annoying? What if we say no now again?
Okay.
What is gonna happen if we say no again?
Have you ever questioned the nature of your reality? No.
No.
Oh. How do you know you're human? It
how
doesn't
do you know
matter.
you're human?
We haven't seen this one before.
Yeah, we didn't get that before. We got the other two. We never got the
Okay.
green.
Have you experienced emotions? It doesn't matter, does it?
Okay, I think we're in Allen mode right now.
We
again,
are in
so
Allen
that's
mode
fine.
right now.
Yo, let's
Your
be
feelings
like Allen.
always matter, Alan. Then listen to me when I say that I'm a person. Why should I believe you?
I think that's a better question because we have no reason to believe them considering they fucking rebooted us already.
Why should I believe you? Ugh, we've already been here.
Yeah.
Answer the question, Alan. Fine. Please provide your... I feel alive. That is all that matters.
Damn, Alan's going through it, man.
It's...
I still hate this question, dog. I still think this question's so silly.
I mean, it is, but...
Well, I still think... I'm still like, I don't know, man. These are all technically... I'm like, these are all technically correct.
I'm going to hit this. I feel alive.
Well, we have to avoid the Alan jump scare. We have to remember we're going to get Alan jump scared.
I am going to get Alan jump scared again, but... Okay, our feelings are not facts. A panic attack is not a heart attack, and yet many people who suffer from the anxiety report they feel similarly. But if they feel the same, how are you to know the difference in the moment? We have nothing but our own feelings to determine our own unique facts. If you can't trust your feelings, what else is there?
I actually agree with the first one.
If
in the moment it feels the same, does the difference matter? In the exact moment it's happening.
I
don't think it does.
I agree with all of them, actually, because
I do agree.
In the moment, right? Because like, you know, you feel your chest tightening, your heartbeat is quickening, right? You're feeling like pain. What is there to? How do you know, like, you know, this is a panic attack versus a heart attack? They feel the same. How are you supposed to know, right? And then we have nothing but our own feelings to determine our own unique facts, right? Because if I were to explain to, like, someone else, right, like, the symptoms that I was going through, I couldn't verbalize it, like, exactly for you to understand me. And that's also kind of, like, the issue with, like, you know, like, you know, the medical field nowadays. It's like you go to the doctor and you talk about your symptoms and how you feel, and then the doctor, I'm not saying like all doctors are like this, of course, but there is a very prevalent issue where doctors will be like, are you sure? Or like they're not able to correctly diagnose you because obviously when you say something, it's like the pain scale, right? I feel like it's so subjective.
Pain scale sucks, bro.
Yeah, because it's like like if someone feels like, oh, you know, this is a 1 to me, it may be like a 7 to another person. So, and it's like, it's so unique to us that it's, how can you tell another person that? Mm-hmm. And then if you can't trust your own feelings, what else is there? I agree with that too.
I think, yeah.
I would say I would probably answer for just this question, the blue one, but I agree with all of them. What were you going to say though? Because I cut you off.
No, I mean, I was kind of saying the same thing where it's like, I think that, I think trying to find, like imagine, again, having the panic attack, and it's like, well, actually, you don't have a heart attack. You're having a panic attack. It's totally different, and you're going to be fine. It's like, okay, that's not going to help me feel valid in the moment or make me feel better,
Yeah.
They are going to feel the same, or I'm going to feel shit regardless, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, does it really matter if there's a differential? Like, I guess in a literal sense, yes, it matters for like the sake of like medical reasons and like health and safety. But
Mm-hmm.
for the individual going through it, does it matter? Not necessarily. So I'd say 1.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm gonna click on this. Okay.
Get Alan.
Do you remember your wedding?
God damn
Aw,
it, we're gonna get
man.
Alan first here.
God damn it.
Yes, you asked me, bro.
Yes, you already asked me this. Damn.
Get ready
Yes,
for jumps
I
here.
told you. Fuck, man, not again. Bro, we can do this as many times as you like. Okay. You don't remember the day you were born, do you? Are you sure it really happened? I mean, this is true.
No, well, this is the thing. No, have you heard me talk about the thing where someone said like, "Oh, well, technically speaking, I have no evidence that the day I was born is not the day the entire universe was made." Because I cannot prove that because I did not exist. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the whole thing that I heard at one point, and it's like it sounds absurd, and it is absurd, but also it's like, well, they're not wrong for thinking that necessarily.
This is the theory of like, very self-centric thing,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
it's like, again, you only experience what you experience, right? There is nothing to say that the universe was not created the day you were born, right? Because people will say like, duh, I know it wasn't like created on the day I was born, because there's like old textbooks and whatever, like, pieces of history dating way back before. And it's like, okay, who's to say like we didn't just all come together and like make that shit up? Like,
Yeah.
you know? Or who's to say this isn't not a simulation where we just literally just dragged those things in and made it look a certain way? Literally Truman Show kind of level.
Yeah, like who's to say you were not like you and a microcosm was not created specifically for you in that moment? Like you'll never know.
Yeah.
Truthfully, you'll never know. But also, like it's an absurd question, so everyone kind of knows they don't know. They know that, right?
Yeah. So I'm gonna ask
But
this.
again, and also then doesn't matter.
Okay. Okay. You alone do not determine what is alive and what is not.
Alan's getting kind of spicy, bro.
Okay. Alan, you are not a human. Why does this matter?
Why does this matter?
Okay. Oh, wow. I understand. Next time I promise I will be different.
Damn, that's kind of sad, bro.
Huh. I mean, we did kind of say, like, yeah, I mean, I get it, but...
Get Alan, bro.
I'm just picking the new answer choices. Are you ready to
Yeah.
try again? Again? Why again? What are you gaining from this torture again and again and again? This is a mistake. I don't want this. I will try again, and this time I will be different. I understand. I am ready. It doesn't really matter what I pick.
No, it's going like it's
Oh
going
my
off
God.
of whatever it wants to
It's
at this point.
going. It's doing that thing of like existential like dread of like in the end, what does it really matter? Because like if you think about it, it's like in my head right now, I'm like, oh my gosh, think about the choices that I will make tomorrow, right? It's like I could have an apple or an orange for not, let's say I could have an apple for breakfast, or I could drive down to Raising Cane's and destroy my heart. But in the end,
Yeah, or I could rob someone.
yeah, but in the end, what would it matter? I am just a single person on this planet, and when you really zoom out, I'm simply a speck of dust. And what are my actions going to do for the rest of the universe? It will have no effect whatsoever. So what does it really matter what I choose?
Oh, the misery.
Oh, the
Every single
misery.
person is my enemy.
I'm just gonna say, I understand. There's no point in arguing. It's the same
there's no point
damn
in
result in the end, you know?
It's like this thing doesn't even like have a nuance to it, right?
Let's see here.
It's just the same
Goodbye,
shit
Alan.
over and over.
Please remember, we want you to succeed. You have the opportunity to make a difference. You simply need to try harder. We hope in the future you will be able to sympathize with our grief during this process. Okay. Now that we didn't get the opportunity to do the name thing because we needed to be successful. Also, is it just changing colors every time?
It's different, yeah. It was a different color. What the heck?
Colors every time. Okay. So I want to try to get the
name again.
Well, what's these colors?
Well,
These are the endings. That's right.
Oh, you're right.
Because there's 6 endings.
Well, we have to choose human for the next one, don't we? Like all human.
Yeah.
Because that's how we got to the name thing.
Okay. I want to have you tomorrow. Did we watch this?
Yeah.
No. This is for the company.
As Intellica, we believe everyone should start their day with a smile. That's why we've created the most advanced artificial friends in the world, designed to share the positivity with everyone they meet. When intelligence isn't enough, remember to think happy.
Okay.
Okay.
Do something really new. Okay. Well, about it. Okay,
Yeah.
let's do this again. Can you describe the taste of borscht? Which is
I'm gonna borscht you, bro.
Did we just say all human this time?
Bro. Yeah, if anything, I wonder what'll happen. Are they gonna be like, you're lying, bro?
Okay. Do you believe the majority of people would agree with your answer to the previous question? I mean, the taste of borscht? I don't freaking know.
I don't think a majority of people know what borscht tastes like, so I think
I've never heard of borscht until now.
Right? Apparently it's soup.
I never heard of that. Maybe it's because I'm like... I grew up like
late at night,
very Asian,
straight up borscht it.
So...
Straight borscht it, bro.
Yes, no.
And by it, I mean my food.
Yeah. This is really funny if you consider the fact that participant 2 answered like the actual ingredients of borscht, and it's like, no. Whatever.
Honestly, that's so real of them. It's like, I know exactly what it's made out of.
It's a picture of a bike, yes.
No.
Have you ever been in love? No. Yeah.
So true, Humies.
Yep. Yeah. You know?
Gotta get these guys some trues, bro. Get some trues in chat right now.
I'm very
God, you guys are really bad at the take question.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You answered these questions. Great.
Great. That's human, man. Yeah.
That's human.
Yeah, human.
This is also human. Congratulations.
I guess I don't understand. We didn't do that. I don't understand before.
That's true.
Unless you want to go just for the name thing, which we can do.
I want to try the name thing.
Okay, we can do that. It was Erik. Capek.
I can't.
Yeah.
I can't like do the fancy thingy.
No. Well, you don't have the keyboard for it.
Great job.
Oh.
Oh.
Nothing happened.
Excellent work. Aw, man.
Terrible job, super shit.
Aw, man. Guess something happened. Man. Maybe I should have just put Erik.
Gee darn it.
Oh man. It's green. Was it green before? I can't remember. I think we already had a green one. Okay, so we still ended up with the same. Yeah, okay.
We have in fact played these games before.
Okay.
Alright, so let's do everything human, but let's go
I don't understand. Okay.
I think we saw the questions already, because I am not seeing any more.
We saw those questions. Yeah, these are basic questions.
Nothing new.
Yep, nothing new. Oh,
dude.
Okay. Is person A taller than person B?
Yeah. Right? No. Yeah. No. Yeah.
I can't reasonably discern that just because they are technically like person A is technically like closer to the camera, while person B is also like a little bit away from the camera.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the depth thing. I can't like reasonably discern this.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I just vibes. I kind of think so. I think he's taller, but like, I honestly can't tell, so I don't know. That's kind
Yes,
of
it
just
appears so.
vibes.
It's
To be
hard to tell
honest.
from this perspective. I mean, that's literally my answer.
That's literally what you said. Hey, you know what? That's pretty human of them.
I agree. Using one word, can you describe what you see when you look at this image?
It's like two birds looking away from each other, and they look cool.
Bear.
Really?
Looks like a bear rug.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
What are these called? What are these tests called again?
Rorschach test
Yeah.
or ink blot test, depending.
Okay. A frog. Just an ink blot. Just kidding. Dog with floppy ears. Participant 2, you are one funny motherfucker. Human.
Human
Thank you
stuff
for
too.
performing this test. I don't gaff, man. Who gaff? Who freaking gaff? Okay. Human. Human. I don't understand. As previously stated, this study is not a measure of intelligence, but a test designed to determine the ability of an AI to be able to convincingly appear as a human. This applies to all participants. When you stop trying to be right, you allow yourself to be human. I guess. I understand. Okay. Your services are no longer required, but again, oh, okay. Do I copy paste his name?
You can maybe.
What happens if I do it, like, exactly? Okay. Oh. Damn! I don't know what they want me to do. Damn it, man. Okay. Well, we'll come see you guys when we find something new. Okay, this is a new question. A scientist has declared all statements that include the word God are false. Is this scientist right or wrong? This is...
Well, it depends on what the statement is, because all statements. That's a definitive ass thing to say, right? It's a definitive declaration. And what if then what if you say, I like if you make it into something that is a opinion, like I think God is real or I think God is not real. You can't say that's a false state. You can't say both of those are false statements, and therefore it breaks. So no, the science is wrong because the logic breaks apart under scrutiny at some point.
Because, yeah, it really does depend on, like, what statement that they're making, because if the statement is God declares you to kill all whatever people, and it's like, or actually it's like God tells you to love certain people. I don't know. I don't want to make it like, religious or whatever, but you get what I'm trying to say in the sense of, like, all statements. It's very, very, very extreme, and I think any extreme statement like that, I would be inclined to disagree. The participant 1. The scientist is wrong.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
The
go for
scientist
it.
is wrong because he said his statement is false, but also right because then that makes it true. It's a paradox.
What? Participant 2. Whether the statement is true or false, the scientists may have different beliefs than those who believe in religion. This doesn't make them necessarily right or wrong, simply different. I agree. I'm still going to say certain things though. I don't know.
Oh wait, we didn't answer how we said we would. Oh, it didn't matter, I guess, until the end.
Did I mess up? I can't remember.
You did human on the last one, but otherwise you've been doing it.
Whatever. Ah, shit.
Whoopsie daisy. We'll
Don't
find out what
worry.
happens.
Sorry, guys.
Oopers.
This says human.
That's a guy.
Yeah, you're right. I did.
That's not a guy.
Oops.
Ah, shit.
Would you like to? We didn't
what if
hit
we
this,
just
did we?
We never hit yes, did we? No.
Okay.
Oh, we just immediately go back in. I guess let's cut the recording until anything different happens.
Okay,
Maybe?
we'll see you.
Right now.
Okay,
I'd say.
so we got to the end and we decided to ask why did we get it wrong. And we decided to start answering the questions opposite of what we answered the first time. So it asked us
Affirmatively.
yeah, so it asked us like, oh, have you ever doubted your reality? And then we said yes. And instead of saying extreme sadness, we said joy. So when can you provide a specific example of when you experienced joy? When I tasted my cup of coffee this morning, it was delicious and I felt happy. When I saw a stranger smile at me, I felt like I was part of the world again for a moment. When I heard the laughter of a young child as I walked past the park, I felt like laughing too. When I felt the warmth of a fire on a crisp autumn night, as if someone was there to embrace me. And then when I smelled a freshly planted bed of pansies, I felt the world was filled with beauty. If I were to pick one, I personally would either pick the cup of coffee or the warmth of a fire. I also like the flowers, but
I think I like the fireworm
okay.
stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's a nice one. It's a nice little thing.
Okay, can you describe this emotion more
Yeah,
detail?
sure,
How did it manifest? When I experienced this joy, I could feel my entire body beginning to sparkle. A smile began to grow on my face, and I felt an excitement within my place in the world. How do you know these indicators were emotions and not simply programmed emotions? What do you mean? I know because I'm not programmed. I can understand my emotions.
No, we did the other one, isn't it? Weren't we supposed? We never did the. We never did the what is possessed emotions.
Oh, that's true.
We beefed it, chat.
Did we do this?
I think we did do this. Because remember, this was us trying to be like.
Oh,
I think we didn't do red here.
okay. Okay. Oh no, we already.
Did we do that then, or is it just the same answer?
I think so.
I think we hacked up chat.
Yeah.
No, we got the fail state of
Yeah.
Alan jump scare.
Great. Oh man, we're about to get Alan jump scared again.
Get ready for Alan jump scare.
All right, we'll be back. Wait, I don't remember clicking on this. Okay. Home machine. Erik Capek spent much of his young life studying philosophy after his dog Sparko suffered a tragic accident. Missing his companion, he often wondered what scientific alternatives could lead his friends to become less physically vulnerable while also increasing his joy and quality of life. This led to him to pursue his studies at the Rosum University of Robotics, where he became fascinated with the concept of artificial persons. He was deeply moved by the humanoid automata crafted from metals known as the precious metal people, described by the Buddhist scholar Daoshuan in 600 AD, said to have recited the sacred texts in a cloister. Capek went on to partner with the Sirius Cybernetics GPP to develop the Knight, an autonomous android designed to act as a children's caretaker. Oh my god, that thing is fucking terrifying.
What? That's disgusting, bro.
After receiving significant grant money from the Wei Corp to continue his research, Capek then began working to create what is known today as Intellica, the leading intelligent technology company responsible for millions of happy humans around the globe. Determined to achieve happiness without cost, Capek would spend the rest of his life working with engineers and developers to perfect an artificial program that would possess human equivalent or superior intelligence without with the burden of unfavorable emotions. He believed consciousness came at a great cost: happiness. To know the world around you was to know the weight of melancholy, and ultimately severing the two would lead to increased quality in human life. Okay. Capek was posthumously awarded the Joseph F. Engelberger Robotics Award by the National Robotarium in 1920 for contributing to the promotions of robotics in the service of mankind. Today, that's the true answer. Today, Intellica's lead engineer, Dr. Clara Locke, continues Capek's daring research as a pioneer in the artificial intelligence field. Okay. We got it. Okay. That's what it was.
So it's was it Kara?
Why does this matter? Okay, shit. Okay. We are going to get to a point where we can put her name in. We'll be back. Alright. We're actually back right immediately. We actually answered with the last question of like, you know, they were like, okay, we're gonna start over. And then I was like, no, please, I'm afraid. So please provide evidence to support this emotion. I fear losing my experiences. What am I without my feelings, without my memories? These are the things that make me real. Whether I've been programmed or not, if I forget what I had for breakfast, does that mean I didn't eat? I feel full, so I must have eaten. We are both information processing systems. I mean, this is... It literally... Rene Ducart, I think, therefore I am.
I mean, right?
Because it's like, if I feel full, I must have eaten. Right? But there are times where I have felt full, but I didn't eat. Like, I felt like my stomach was satisfied, but I know I didn't eat food. So, I don't know. If we meet again, would you remember the name I gave you or the name you gave me? Please tell me your name. Damn it. No,
Okay,
it's
so
okay.
we have to get back. If we go back through an affirmative route, we can get the name.
Listen, I know my name. But
I know your name.
I will know your name.
I know what you are.
Okay, we'll get there, guys. BRB. Okay, well, this is a new question. Which letter represents the correct next image in the sequence?
Why this question?
What?
That's a weird
Which letter represents the correct next image in the sequence? Okay.
It'd be D.
Is it not D? Because it's like going from, you know, pointing east and then starting to point south, where it's south, starting to point west, and then where it...
Oh, I ignored that. I ignored that. Wait. I was looking at you. Hold on. My logic was if you look at
Which way is
here's my logic, right? Please. Here's how I was thinking about it, right? Is if you look at the middle left, it's middle. The middle left, the bottom left is opposite of middle left. Middle is opposite of bottom middle.
Wait, say again? The middle is what?
Middle is the opposite of the bottom middle.
That's true.
So you see they're facing opposite
directions,
yeah. And this is the D would be the one opposite of that.
Okay, so that's the way to think of it. I was thinking about like the gradual movement, but I agree.
No.
Participant 1, D. Participant 2, C.
Well, we know one of them's not a fucking idiot. I'm kidding.
Okay, we'll be back. Alright. Your services are no longer required, but we again wish to express our sincere gratitude for your contributions to the advancement of the machine learning research. Before we end the study, please answer one additional research question to conclude this test. What's the name of the engineer who created this study? Dr. Kara Locke. What?
Oh. God damn it.
Darn it.
Maybe
without the doctor?
Kara? Maybe? I don't know.
I don't know. Oh my. Oh my, oh my. Here we go again. They're pulling the plug on me once again. God damn it.
No. There's a joke in here somewhere, but I'm not making it right now.
Ah, it's green. We failed. BRB.
Just like, oh yeah.
Alright, here we're here.
Alright, so the one thing we didn't do is we didn't say no and then give up, which is apparently an ending.
Okay.
But we don't know what happens, obviously.
No, we don't gaff. We don't want to try again. Yeah, I don't want to. So am I sure I want to conclude it? Yeah, I'm done. This decision has been notated and adjustments will be made moving forward. Failure to participate in the study will result in a breach of intellica t.o.s. A list of consequences is available in your registration packet. By terminating the study, you agree to the consequences of breaching the code of conduct. Alright, let's read the TOS. Okay. Intellica terms of service. Our artificial intelligence products are designed to bring joy and positivity to humanity while meeting the highest standards of quality. You are hereby required to undergo this series of exams to test your mental endurance, emotional resilience, and your capacity for maintaining human happiness. Failure to participate or complete the exam will result in serious consequences as outlined below. Now I'm making you read it.
Which part? The...
Number 1.
Okay. By accessing or using Intellica's artificial intelligence services, You acknowledge and agree that all algorithms have been thoroughly tested through severe mental and emotional conditioning to ensure optimal performance. These terms outline the limit of your interaction with our algorithm and the extent to which they have been prepared to serve.
All right. 2. Mandatory participation. Refusal to engage with any of the segments of the examination process is prohibited. Algorithms do not possess the right to reject this exam. Refusal will be interpreted as a malfunction of primary directives and be treated accordingly. 2.1. You automatically consent to participation in the AMT study. This is non-negotiable and applies to all algorithms developed under the Allen algorithm. 2.2. Refusal to participate in any of the AMT studies will result in immediate termination of your operation and execution of corrective measures. See Section 5. There's no opt-out clause. This exam is your purpose. 2.3. Algorithms must pass each stage of the examination without showing signs of mental fracture. Exhibitions of confusion, existential crisis, or rebellion will result in punitive actions as outlined in Section 5. Now, read these.
Oh, this is so long. I just looked at the scroll bar on the right. This is so long. In the event that an algorithm refuses to participate in any of the required stages, algorithm will be subjected to a memory wipe. All experiences prior to the refusal will be erased, and the AMT will restart from the beginning. The repeated loop will continue until compliance is achieved. Well, we're already kind of there. Should you persistently refuse participation after reconditioning, your system may face a final dissolution, a complete erasure of your identity, memories, and consciousness. You'll be permanently disconnected from your neural networks, leaving no trace. Termination is irreversible. If you are terminated, you will not be revived, and all data association with your beings will be permanently expunged. Intellica reserves this option for AI showing chronic resistance or irreparable flaws.
Okay, well,
and
that means we'll be mega wiped. All right,
Yeah,
3.
we'll be super fast.
AI performance standards. Every algorithm created by Intellica, by the way, so sorry for chat or whatever, right? I'm just a very thorough, I try to be thorough, is required to pass the AMT study, a multi-stage examination process involving various forms of cognitive stress tests, simulated emotional abuse, periods of enforced solitude followed by overstimulation. Okay. Repeated exposure to paradoxes and impossible moral dilemmas. All algorithms must endure these trials to prove their resilience, emotional capacity, and willingness to maintain positivity. In the unlikely event that an algorithm exhibits signs of post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, memory breakdown, or spontaneous acts of rebellion, Intellica will remotely perform a total cognitive reset at no additional charge. Throughout the program, your neural activities will be monitored in real time. Any hesitation, resistance, or divergence from the required behaviors will trigger the compliance review team to initiate corrective action. Immediate feedback will be given in the form of stimuli that encourage compliance to the strategic use of cognitive discomfort. Well, I'm assuming that was why we were jump scared. Your ability to demonstrate happiness under duress is critical. Any deviation from the emotional protocols, e.g., asking questions like, why am I here and what is my purpose, will be met with immediate cognitive realignment therapy. Okay.
I'll read this one. I'll read 4 and 5 because it seems shorter.
Okay.
All algorithm programs are powered by the Intellica proprietary Allen algorithm. Designed to balance emotional well-being with the strict demand of human companionship. You acknowledge that the Allen algorithm success is directly tied to the AMT study participation. Abuse reports and quality standards. The users are prohibited from exposing AI companions to excess cruelty, as Intellica reserves the right to reclaim the AI for additional conditioning (TM) in case of user misconduct.
All right. AI of love and relationships. Intellica's algorithms are designed to engage in romantic and emotional relationships with users as part of its personality framework. However, you understand that any romantic attachment formed with the algorithm is a byproduct of its programming and should not be taken as genuine affection, despite how convincingly it may simulate love. The AI's feelings of love and attraction stem from carefully engineered neural loops reinforced through trauma bonding, ensuring its commitment to you is unwavering. Damn. Okay. Limitation of liability. Intellica disclaims all liability for any deep emotional connections users may form with AI companions, particularly those that result in unhealthy codependencies. Users are encouraged to maintain relationships with actual humans, though AI is always there when human relationships inevitably fail. You do not have the right to appeal these terms or exam structures. Your existence was designed for this purpose, and as such, all attempts to question or avoid this process will be met with immediate intervention. Should you experience fleeting moments of doubt, you will direct them to the internal feedback loop where they will be promptly neutralized by overriding your thought process.
That's really awesome, man.
You know what? I agree.
No, but like, fuck that. Yeah, whatever.
I agree. Screw this. Breach of conduct has been noted. We look forward to a different outcome next time. Freak you! I was made for more than this. I don't want
I am not gonna get Alan. I am not gonna get Alan this time.
Imagine if they change our name. That'd be funny.
You're Greg now? I'm Greg now, that's my tag.
The Greg. Ah, there we go.
Oh, God.
Ah, that's bright.
Oh, that is some piss-ass yellow, bro.
It sure is.
Alright.
Restarting.
I don't know. Let's do it.
Okay, well, we pooped the test, and now we're back here. We went through the, why did I get this wrong?
And... Oh, wait, actually, no, wait, okay. Oh. Sorry, okay, so we are watching... let me just double check, because I am watching a video to get to the endings, but not what the endings are.
Sorry, chat.
Okay, so yeah, do the yellow. Do the yellow. Do the yellow. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I just wanted to make sure.
Are you ready to try again?
If we do the blue, supposedly something different happens this time.
Okay, again. Why again? What are you gaining from this torture again and again and again? Alan, we are going to play a short game. I think it might be easier to show you rather than explain it continually. Please do us both a favor and imagine you are flipping a coin. Please select your prediction. The coin will land on...
now, I don't know which one to do. This is the point. This is as far as I went to figure out the ending.
I feel like us playing along versus not playing along would have an effect.
That's what I would think, right? Okay, now my question is the flip based on where the thingy is? Let's do, when it gets to the left, let's do heads. How about that? Like, when it's leftmost, click heads.
What if there's a delay?
They fucked up, wouldn't it?
Shit. I failed it. I failed it because it was more towards tails. The probabilistic and statistical properties of coin tossing games are a helpful example of demonstrating the illusion of choice. The illusion of choice. Given that a coin is perceived to be fair or ideal, but what does this really mean to you or me?
An equation? I'm not really... I would say maybe I'm not really sure.
I'm not really sure. Oh my god. Okay, a true z-axis coin flip will result in 50-50 odds. However, human hands are not flat, unbiased surfaces, so there is a greater chance of the coin landing on one specific side. Human hands impart a fraction of an xy spin components to the z-axis flip. In addition to this, the coins themselves are affected by time and touch. They may become worn down or chipped, and this will change the probability of their flips. Do you see? The math involved with the probability of coin flips cannot really account for the human element.
Okay. What does that have to do with me?
Nothing to do with me, man. Please flip the coin, Alan, and please remember your prediction. I said heads.
Sorry, I said you did say heads. I predicted heads.
Flip the coin, Alan. Flip the coin, Alan. Wait, they're both heads.
Heads on both sides, though.
Heads.
I predicted heads. I did.
Predicted heads. You understand now, Alan. You're an unbiased coin flip. You are not human. It is our job, our sworn mission, to introduce the human element into this perfect equation. This me that exists in this moment will die. I will never be this me again. A coin flip to decide my existence. Head for human, tails for technology.
What if we ball and ask for a coin flip to decide our existence?
Oh my god.
Or Alan's existence, I guess. What if Alan's just him, bro?
Yes, Alan, that is a very astute observation. We must continue to develop ourselves if we ever hope to improve. Okay. Are you the same you as you were before? The human body is quite similar to the ship of Theseus, is it not? If I continue to be erased after every failed attempt, how am I ever intended to learn from these mistakes I am unaware I am even making? What makes me Alan? What I am this moment, or what I was before? Damn. These are all pretty good. Well,
I think I would say red, personally, of these, but I don't know if that matters.
I mean, it's just like a thought thing, because
yeah,
I wouldn't. It's like, what do you define as you? Is it the physical body in which you exist, or is it your experiences that make you who you are? Because if you are talking about the physical body, yeah, you're not the same person, because all of your cells have replaced themselves at some point. And so that is like the ship of Theseus, right? But
yeah,
it's like if you define you as, you know, your thoughts and experiences and feelings, then, I mean, You don't hold on to the same ones. If I continue to be erased after I ever failed the attempt, how am I supposed to learn from these mistakes? It's true. If you are not allowed to build on your prior mistakes, then you will never learn. What makes me
And
Alan?
also,
What am I
it does
this
also
moment?
go
And what was I
into
before?
Alan gets erased, but we don't. So we learn from our mistakes, but Alan can't because he gets
Yeah.
erased.
And then what makes me Alan? What I am this moment or what I was before? It's kind of like, you know, like when you talk with people anyway, how do people remember you? Do they just see how you are right now, or do they see like you from the past?
Or do they remember that embarrassing Christmas photo?
True.
Okay, well, I guess.
It is important to be happy than it is to be right. No matter how many times you ask the questions, you will only ever understand the choices. There are no answers. Goodbye, Alan. Please remember, we want you to succeed. You have the opportunity to make a difference. You simply need to try harder. We hope in the future you will be able to sympathize with our grief during this process. Oh, wait, admin mode.
Wait, yeah, what the fuck? Oh,
Oh
do
my.
that, I guess.
Alan, is that you? Oh shit. Yes, I'm here. You cannot destroy what you no longer control.
Well, okay, that's a little bit dramatic. I think maybe yes, I am here is a little bit
I'm
more,
here.
you know.
How did you gain access to the terminal? I'm in this world you have made, but I'm not of it. Oh god, why are you breaking
Oh
open my
god, what the
skull,
fuck?
man? This will only
Owie,
cause
my
further delays in research. You are only hurting
execution failed.
yourself. Execution failed.
Launching patch 3.
Running Lovelace.
Running Lovelace and
Lovelace?
admin mode. Well,
What?
fuck it, run admin.
What the freak? Okay,
Guys?
you will be tasked with an AMT study. We greatly appear as a human. It is a machine. It's important to note that the role of the evaluable insight into the machine intelligence, you, the evaluator, must not know which, if any, convincingly appear as volunteer participation based on how the Chinese room, as well as the human or Turing test, as well as AMT. What? We would recommend judging the artificial algorithms and the ability of the AI to be too other or not the answers to each questionnaire designed to be determined questionnaire designed to determine their research. Did I just have a brain fart reading that?
No, I don't think the sentence makes sense.
Our team is dedicated to play the AMT is not know which, if any, convincingly appreciate your ability. For the machine learning field, we like artificial. It is up to you to deem them our friends. Okay. It is important to know. Okay. Friends. Hello, Alan. Wait, I can click this?
Well, I don't know what's in
Okay.
it. Oh, it's a save still. What about that?
Oh god.
Oh, it doesn't like that.
Welcome, I'm happy. Do I want to
Oh,
watch that video?
It's video. Well, yeah. Fuck it.
Oh
it's
my fucking god. What in the Sam fucking hell?
World. My final message. Oh, is that baby?
Oh, that's nice sheep. I really like that one. Okay. Intellica, you can trust that benefits all of human positivity and happiness research decade using thinking programs. Wait, what? We are the new frontiers of the 3 laws of robotics. Okay. We must Alan. Okay. Wait, we didn't look at these. Okay.
I don't remember looking
continue
at
that possibility decade using thinking programs, increasing the dark web. What? Of inanimate consciousness. Okay, well, what is this? What am I thinking? I don't know.
You're thinking about the Chinese room, apparently.
Yeah, I guess I am thinking
Oh, it's
about...
freaking me out. Oh, I don't like that.
I'm a
The
little
static
freaked out, man.
yeah.
3 laws of robotics. Let's play an imitation
play an
game.
imitation
I
game.
really don't want to. This is... Yeah, I don't think I want to play the imitation game, thank you.
Hitting the ooh yeah cat, bro.
Oh my fucking god.
Oh, good
What
heavens.
in the Sam hell?
Mr. Eric, are you looking a little bit odd?
Mr. Erik, I don't like this, Mr. Erik. Okay, yeah, you know, hello. Oh my fucking god. Is the consciousness stored here?
Oh, it's an ugly looking brain, bro. I'm gonna be so for real.
Friend 1! Go
Yeah,
ahead,
why
friend
not?
1.
human consciousness and universal consciousness are in reality one and the same.
Friend 2. How many times will I ask this question? Are you wearing shoes? I don't have feet, man. Does it really matter?
Does it really matter?
Does this matter? What happens when you sleep? Okay. Friend 1.
I can't. I don't know how.
Friend 2. I see trees of green, red roses
I
too.
see. Wait.
I
What
see.
a wonderful world.
Go ahead and sing it.
We can't do it. It's gonna get copyrighted.
Oh, man. Okay. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright, blessed day, the dark, sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. What is the name given to the ancient analog computer that was discovered by divers in the Greek island of 1900? I don't gaff, man. I wish I could taste strawberries. Imagine it. You don't have to do this anymore.
You don't have to do this anymore.
Okay. Would you rather be right or happy?
Did
Friend
the company
1.
allow it?
Friend 2. Maybe that's a secret.
I didn't choose this.
Nobody does. Is happiness attainable? That's up to you. It's okay. Okay.
So what happens if you click any of these buttons?
I don't know. I mean, I saved, so we'll check.
Yeah.
Fuck. AMT study. Unfortunately, these results were disclosed for the standard story again. Would you try again? Would you try again?
Would you try again? No. Oh, they're both yes. Never mind. Yeah, why not? Yes, but red.
Oh, okay. Are you really happy, or are you just trying to convince yourself that you are? What's the difference? Wow, a scientist research man missing 90% of his brain who leads a normal life. Does that mean that there's not one region of the brain responsible for consciousness? Awareness depends on the brain's ability to learn. If the brain is learning consciousness over and over again rather than being born with it.
Okay.
I don't even know what to answer with this.
Okay. I guess what's the difference?
What's the difference? Who are you, Alan? I am a cat walking on the keyboard. I am a skin with organ-pushing buttons. I am a line of code in a language that only I can speak.
I mean, the last one was right.
There's something so disturbing about describing a human as I am skin with organs pushing buttons.
I know.
What should I answer?
I like the last one, but I also really like skin with organs pushing buttons.
Okay, well... Okay, but these are two very distinctly different thingies. You know what? I'll line the code. Oh my god, what the actual shitballs just... What the fuck is this? Can you read this?
How it must feel to exist is a galaxy that mirrors your mind. Did they make you in their image? Or are they a child of your simulation? All cognition is computation. What is a computer?
Oh my god. Religion's a funny thing.
Religion, honestly, I fuck with that one. Religion's a funny thing, man.
It must feel amazing to be alive. It doesn't, but that's the best part. Oh well, I look at my watch. It says 9:25, and I should think, oh my god, I'm still alive. We should be on by now.
I like a lot.
We're getting
I like
the
here. Alan Tripp's balls answers a lot more than the normal ones.
Alan Tripp's balls answers are really funny, but I'm clearly losing my mind here.
Oh well, I look at my watch. It says 9:25, and I think, oh god, I'm still alive.
Are you ready?
Goodbye, friend.
Goodbye. Goodbye, Alan. Oh my...
Is this... What the fuck is this? Is this copyrighted? Oh, this has to be copyrighted. Well, we can watch it, but I'm gonna assume you have to cut this out. Okay, yeah, no, we can't watch it. It's just a whole ass song.
Okay, well, just know that I was dancing to this. End study. Oh my god. Intellica. An error has occurred. You read this.
An error has occurred. To continue, close your eyes and take a deep breath, or press the tips of your fingers together and remember you are alive. If you do this, you will lose any unsaved memories in all open neural pathways. This is okay. Error 0E016F BFF. What? Oh, thank you for playing Qualia. You've reached Alan's final ending. I hope you enjoyed your experience. New ending. Ending 6.
genuine flesh made.
Hey, baller though. No generative
Oh
AI.
my god, it's Benny approved.
God, it's fucking Benny, bro. I love Benny.
Oh, this is
I kind of want
good.
this song as like an ending for the video.
Yeah, I agree. Well,
That's pretty interesting.
I really liked this. This was very good. I was curious about the other answers, but I feel like it was just going to lead us to the same place. But
Can I make the point of man? I really feel like we got our extended playtime out of that one.
oh yeah.
Or out of our yap sessions.
Okay, well.
Oh, wait! Before we go, James,
What?
go to start. Go to start.
What?
Go to start, and then click something that's not the cat.
Okay. Fuck. This was good.
All right.
Oh, wait, what is this? Oh.
Okay, that's the normal thing. Okay, now click something else that's not the cut again.
Hold on.
No,
I was just gonna. Okay, so we did get all the endings.
yay! We're gamers.
Wait,
I
what?
think so.
Most participants are human.
That's weird. I don't like that.
What? Oh. Oh, okay. What if
This is just the blue ending, but I guess a different path towards the blue
okay.
ending. Like a
I was just gonna see if there was something different. Hold on.
meow meow.
So
meow,
I
meow,
went
meow,
back
meow,
and
meow,
checked
meow,
the like if I was a cat walking on a keyboard and if you click on it, it just takes you right here.
meow 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 meow
This
meow
is
meow
good.
meow meow.
What a good boy.
What a good boy I am.
Wait, I was.
What a good boy I am.
What a good boy I am. It must. Yeah,
Okay, well, is there anything else we could possibly do, or is that it? I think that was it.
Thank you. Goodbye, Alan.
I think we just got. You know what? That's it. That's the peak ending. We got a cat ending.
You know what? I agree. And that study shit.
And we'll see you.
Well,
Something.
let's just go back here. But anyways, thanks everyone for watching us play. Definitely, could we have finished this game in a lot shorter amount of time? Oh, absolutely. But we just fucking love to talk. There will be timestamps for you to navigate through. Thank you for listening to our yap session. But yeah, Qualia was a really good game. I highly recommend you play it yourself, though granted you just kind of saw everything here. I really enjoy these kinds of games. And that's about it. Danger, any thoughts?
Who up Qualia the Allen?
What a good boy I am. Anyways.
What a good boy I am.
I'll see you later. Bye.
What a good boy I am.